Yes, I'm ready. And if the virtual camera's juicing your computer too hard, don't worry about it.
It's
but if
juicing
you do
it.
want it, you have to repress that button.
We're juicing it.
It's
juiced.
fine either way. We've survived long enough without it.
We're here. We're live, Steve. I don't know if you can see me. You can't. I can see you. You look handsome.
No.
You got purple on. You look great.
It's true. Yeah. It's a purple bandana. Hello, everyone. Oh, there's Trav. There's the Trav that I can only see 10 seconds in the past.
Yeah.
And somewhat delayed, but that's okay.
Buddy, it's choppy out here today. I don't know. Somebody did something. They kicked the internet on the way through the neighborhood.
Why are they disrespecting us like that? Don't these folks running the internet want to see some Nintendo 64 games and Super Nintendo games?
I don't know. I hope people can see you okay. I'm gonna go to a full Steve here. I'm gonna do a full Steve. Steve, show him your face, tell him who you are, because it's a little choppy for me. Hopefully it's fine for everyone else.
Hi, everyone. I trust that I'm full Steve now, but yeah, I want you all to be having a wonderful evening. I want you all to be enjoying, well, your Sunday evening or your Monday morning or whatever it is for you. And I hope you're excited to talk about some video games, because I'm also looking forward to talking about some video games. It's going to be good.
All right. That was a full Steve. We did a full Steve. People are saying Chop City, though. They're saying it's Chop City out here. I've got my task manager open. I'm just killing applications. I'm just getting rid of
He's just cutting them down.
Name an application is out. I'm just leaving OBS and Chrome. That's all we've got. That's all we need, really. If you think about it.
Says Lake has some chop today. We got some white caps on that lake.
Wow. Okay. Is that northern, what is it? Northern middle United States slang for something I'm not aware of? I'm a mountain guy. We don't do chop unless it's meat.
Yeah, it's when the wind whips up and the lakes get real big waves. There's a critical mass where the waves, as they crash over, they get a little foamy. They get a little white. They call them white caps, and that's how you know you got yourself a windy day. You probably don't want to go out on the boat that day. It's gonna be a little rough, a little choppy.
I think you might have caught up, Steve. Is everyone else getting the feel that maybe the video is a little less choppage now that I've closed Task Manager? I got rid of all of my bots that farm Bitcoin for me. I got rid of all that.
All right.
Top Spot says in his opinion it looks good, and you know his opinion, the best opinion. Name another opinion that's as good. I can't do it.
It's like the internet from 1995. Darn right, Dense Towel. We're bringing you a stream showing games that has a quality equivalent to the games we're showing.
All right, now
full 90s.
Now that we have all that technical stuff out of the way, you know what? It's 9/11 on 9/11. What a perfect time for everything to catch up. And I want to thank everyone for coming by to hang out. Now, this is our 6th time doing this, so if you did miss the first 5, they're in there. There's hours of fun for you. You can go through and sift through just tons of really good, I'm going to say riveting content, Blink. I think we do a good job of emptying our shelves in front of these folks. I don't think they have a reason to complain.
True. Now, what's your favorite part of the process? Is it pulling the games off the shelf? Is it showing them to the people? Or is it the putting them back on?
Honestly, it's putting them back up there. I like
it's putting them back up.
I like messing with the old shelf. You know what happened to me today, Steve? When I was going through pulling some stuff off the old shelf to come show the nice folks here tonight, I found 2 dupes I didn't know that I had. Does this happen to you? Have you found some dupes in your days of doing this?
Not on the shelf because I alphabetize everything, but there has been 1 or 2 times in my life where I have picked up or purchased a game, and then it gets here and I'm like, oh, I already had that one. I should have checked, but usually no, because I keep pretty diligent notes, pretty diligent lists.
As do I, sir, but this is what has happened to me. I didn't realize that I had a copy in a box and also had a copy on the shelf. And it might have been that I already had a loose copy, and then I somehow got the box copy and just never... I put it in the boxed part of the shelf, didn't look at the loose part of the shelf to think, I gotta do something with this. I can't have loose and boxed copies. I'm not that ridiculous. Ah, buddy. All right. Well, tonight, folks, you're going to get some N64. Everybody loves that N64. I think everyone should. It's an amazing console. Lots of good racers and one good fighting game. It has that Mario game on it. A couple good Zeldas. Not a half bad Kirby. Not a good Castlevania in the bunch. And then we're going to jump over immediately from the N64 to something worse, if you can believe that. The Jaguar. We're doing weird things to hold tonight. An N64 controller and a Jaguar controller. And after that, we're going to come in hot with our Super Nintendo games. And that's going to be probably the more exciting part of the night, because I know Steve has some really good stuff over there. I got a couple good things. I'm not going to lie to you. No, I'm not doing too bad. And then we're going to close it out with some weird stuff. I got a few weird things I want to show. I got a TI-99 that I want to show off. That's the best part about having a TI-99 is just showing it to people. It's not really that fun to play. But it's always fun to show. It's always fun to show.
True.
All right. Well, let's get it going here, Steve. Man, what did I say we'd start with? The Nintendo 64?
Mm-hmm.
What are your stats on the Nintendo 64? What do you got? How many you hauling in for that?
We have 57 N64 games. They're all complete. I believe they're all complete. They're all at least boxed. I'm pretty sure they all have manuals. I have to double check, open them all up, and make sure that they all have their instruction booklets. But 57 is the total that we're currently sitting at. Not all of them have their inner trays, though. Do you buy the aftermarket inner trays when you need them, or do you just wait until you can harvest it from something else?
What do you mean by inner tray? What is this? What is inner tray?
The cardboard tray that the game sits in. Some of the boxes have a built-in tray, but some of them you gotta.
Gotcha.
It slides out.
I'm a loose man. This is not an issue that vexes me in the slightest. I slap them into the universal plastic game cases. They fit right in there, like sweet little baby cradles, and they stay there for life. And I don't look at them for years until I play them. But having a few cardboard Genesis games, I definitely know that those little trays, those little cardboard things that hold them in place, are very fragile and frustrating to keep in shape. So
yeah,
I feel you there.
It can be pretty brutal, and there's like 6 different versions of them too. So it's a big to do.
Do you have any import? Anyway, you have any import 64 stuff? You all North American over there?
All North American. There's some I'd like to get. I would not hate to have a Sin and Punishment kicking around, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But not a single import N64 game. Yeah, nothing.
Same here. Well, I'm rocking. Now I know you're not going for the full set, and I think you're pretty happy with the size of collection you have, right? There's nothing outstanding for you at this point.
I mean, there's certainly stuff still on the wish list, but I'd say if I reasonably got everything I wanted on the N64, I'd probably land maybe somewhere between like 75 and 100 games.
Okay.
So not going for a full set, no.
No, well, that's reasonable and very rational of you. I am, for some reason. We don't have to get into the psychology of it. Look, I made this mistake years ago. We're in the middle of it. We got to finish it. I have 281 out of 296. So we got 15 more to go, and of course, of that 15 includes the obvious big one, which would be the Sculptor's Cut Clay Fighters. Don't have that. I almost got it one time. I went to a store that had 2, and it was going to be my car payment game. We've talked about this, Steve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You pay off something like a car, and then that next month, hey, you're used to already losing that amount of money. You just put that toward one of your big boys that you need for your collection. There you go. There's your car payment celebration. I was going to do that, and at the time, my car payment and the cost of Sculptor's Cut pretty close. We're talking like and I don't drive a Bentley, so it was a much lower number than it is today. This was for a used Dodge Caliber, so I was going to do it, and I couldn't get down there in time. They ended up selling both of them. I haven't seen one in person since, and now that game goes for several car payments. So we whiffed on that one. Let's start showing some of this stuff off, though. I'm going to jump over to your picks. We'll get kicked off with you. Do you have? Sure. You don't have a single N64 pick, so I'm not going to kick off with you. I'm going to kick over to your videos, and we're going to roll some beautiful bean footage.
Fair.
We're going to roll some beautiful.
I'm just going to trust you that the video is running, because I'm on a nice delay here.
Sure. Well, it is running. Some nice spines over there, and real nice. Gosh, you just love to see it.
Oh, look at that game.
Yeah.
That's a game right there.
I mean, I'm interested to know if you do plan to get, and I think I see one there, some plastic protectors for these things.
Oh, another video game.
Yeah, it's still going. We just got the shelf too.
Nice, nice. I probably should at some point. I got a weird relationship with plastic protectors.
Uh-oh. I might have lost you there, Steve. No, you're back.
But at the same time, you can't hear me anymore?
Well, I can hear you, but you're cutting out. I think it's just the power. I'm gonna switch over to you. Don't worry. I'm gonna get you in here. I think it was the power that was harnessed in that video. What was it, like a 4 gig video? What do you record that thing with? The same thing that you used that with? Was it the James Hubble? What do you got the James? What is this? What's that new telescope?
The James what?
You got the
I just fired off on the old phone.
Dang, dude. All right. Well, we saw your video there. Very nice. I saw the ogre battle sitting up on top, ready to go. You've got that one probably in your N64 as we speak.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And I was noticing the lack of plastic protectors on that cardboard. I thought, as a cardboard man, I thought you'd take better care of your stuff. You know, what about a flood? You know, what if there's a natural disaster, act of God? What are you going to do about that?
Okay, well, one, if we're having a flood, I don't think those little plastic protectors are doing much to stop me. They're just going to trap the water inside with the games.
Helps them float.
But, yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But not. I should get the plastic protectors. I know that they're a good thing, but something about them being loose, loose cardboard, like raw cardboard, I guess we'll say, on the shelf, feels more authentic to the experience of having them as a kid. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of potential for damage that we probably should generally try to avoid. So at this point, when I get a new game, if it has a plastic protector, there's this like shuffle of I think to myself, what's the most valuable game I have that doesn't currently have a plastic protector? But I just haven't I haven't had the heart to go buy, like, you know, 150 of them for $200 or whatever it is and just be done with it.
Understood. Well, you know, never too late. All right, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and show off my stuff, and then we'll do our back and forth. So here's my N64 collection. I know this picture's hard to see. It's like, you know, I made the mistake of taking a vertical, what do you call it, a portrait-style image for a landscape medium, but I do think that this shelf is one of the better ones in my house. I use the universal box protectors there. I go to the cover page. What is it called? The cover
Coverproject.net?
Project.net. That's where I go. Print off all of those nice covers to slide in there. And I've got my loose guys in there. And I meant to show it. I might have an example here. But I also, the way that those boxes are, it's nice. You can fit the manuals right in the sleeve of the back of the art. So you can also keep your manuals with your games in these plastic clamshell cases. I know it's not an issue for you. You got the cardboard. It's no hassle. But for me, that's a good way to do it. So
That's nice.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna flip over and do some video here for the folks at home. Switch over to video feed. Hopefully it doesn't get choppy, but we're taking off here. And now, Steve, I know you can't see. Let me describe it to you. One, it's amazing. You know, we got a top shelf of games there. A couple Zeldas featured. I got a Goemon there. I just got that recently. Haven't fitted into a universal case yet, so it's sitting proudly in the front, just waiting for its plastic. I'm also featuring Worms Armageddon up there and Super Bowling at the top. You know, 'cause those are too hard to get games there, and I happen to get both of them there. Actually, during the very beginning of the pandemic, when prices had not yet gone extreme off-road prices. That's what I call I almost said Panda Express, pandemic prices. Now, we're slowly going to be going through the shelf. So, Steve, talk to me a little bit about your history with the N64 while we just let my video slowly chop its way through the internet.
Sure. So, I did not get an N64 right when it launched. I was prime age for Nintendo 64. Okay, I was a young 8-year-old man
Wow.
when the system first came out, and I didn't get one right away. But I used to go to my sister's apartment. She's 10 years older than me. I used to go to her apartment and play Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. And I've told this story before, but I asked for a year or two. It was probably 97, maybe early 98 when I finally got one. But I asked my parents for one, and I think they bought it for me for probably my birthday, but potentially Christmas. But it doesn't matter because I didn't get the actual system on that day. I was being a really snotty, terrible kid one day. I was throwing like a temper tantrum or something. I was in a terrible mood. And my mom calls me downstairs, and when I come down, there's a Nintendo 64 hooked up to our CRT in the basement. And I actually wasn't that excited because it was pretty common for my sister to bring her Nintendo 64 back home so I could play it when she came to visit. So I'm in a terrible mood and I'm all grouchy and I'm like, so what? Amy brought her Nintendo 64. I don't even care. I don't even want to play the Nintendo 64 right now. And then I noticed that it's got Mario 64 hooked up, and I look at the little corner and it's on a fresh file, no stars collected, and the gears start turning in my head. The cogs are spinning. I'm like, wait a minute. And my mom, she fires in, she confirms, she's like, buddy, that's your Nintendo 64.
Oh,
and I
brother.
lost my mind, spent hours playing that. I was so pumped. And then that became like the first... The Genesis is the first system that I ever considered my own, but I would say the N64 was like probably the defining console in terms of shaping my tastes. That until I got a PS1.
Interesting story. Good story. You got one fresh out of the gate as a young 8-year-old man. That's good. I didn't own one on my own until maybe college, but I had a buddy that was close enough in age and close enough in distance that I could play his, and I had a PlayStation, so we did the old trade-off there. I had to cut my video short there because I think it was choking up your audio. We're having a tough night. There's only so much internet to go around tonight, Steve, but people got the idea. I got a whole bunch of them. I can even throw the picture back up if we need to see the full scale of that again. The video was going to just be that a lot, folks, by the way. So you see one, you've seen them all. I've got a good number of them. So that's what we're talking about with our collections. Now, typically we'll show our more valuable pieces, and we'll show some things that maybe folks should get a hold of, and we'll show some odds and ends. So what say we get started with that? Do you have, what do you want to do? You want to start with the valuables or the weirds or the whatever, interesting stuff?
Why don't we do the valuables first? Did you bring a stack of 5, as we tend to do?
Yeah, I got a stack of 5 valuables. I got 3 or 4 sentimentals and 1 big look at me, look how cool I am thing.
Oh, okay, you got more than me. I've got my 5 valuables, and then I've got a couple of sentimentals, and I think that's about it.
Okay.
And one little oddity. So I think maybe we're about even. But why don't we start with the valuables? Why don't you kick us off with your number 5 valuable?
Sure, I'll do that. And while I'm reaching back here, folks, I do want to ask if everything is looking and sounding good enough for right now. Just let me know.
Is it adequate?
All right. I don't know that I put these in the proper order. Nah, I think they're close enough. Okay. So my number 5... NFL Blitz Special Edition. Special Edition. You know what makes it special? Not sure. Maybe a rental only. Tends to be the way things go, right?
Ooh. I'm kind of nervous to ask. What's that one go for these days? What's a ballpark price on that?
I'm not real sure. Let me scroll down here. Between $125 $150 is about what this whole thing is for. Yeah.
I mean, congrats. I used to actually have one of those. I think I sold it years ago for $20.
Really? A special edition? Because there's
Understand.
4 different Blitz games on the N64. Special edition does nothing too special, let me tell you. But I enjoy playing those games with my nephew, so I do get some miles out of it. But yeah, are you sure it was that one?
Pretty sure. Well, maybe is there another abnormally valuable one? I remember looking it up and being like, "Oh, this one is the weird version of Blitz that's worth more." And I sold it because I had a regular copy of Blitz that I still have, and I was like, "I don't need two."
Oh man, you should have kept the special edition. What's wrong with you?
It wasn't the one that I grew up playing.
That's fair. No, that's fair. No, I understand that. All right, so that was my number 5, NFL Blitz.
That's a good one.
Special edition. All right, what do you got?
That's a good one. All right, let's pull up another one. And also, while I grab this, hello to all the folks that are just popping in.
Yeah.
Mr. Ari Lewis, Mr. Player's Guide.
Player's Guide. I haven't heard from Player's Guide in a long time. I hear from R.E. Lewis all the time. Too much, if you ask me. All these beat
That man
tweets
hoists
and
me. You wouldn't believe.
He's so hoisty. Always
So
hoisting.
hoisty.
Always hoisting that guy.
All right. Number 5, we got that Paper Mario.
Oh.
So this is actually a game that I had growing up. My sister had it. Honestly, this was probably one of the earlier RPGs that I played. And I love this game. I think it's phenomenal. I would love to own the strategy guide for this. I say that because there's an offer for it on the back.
Oh.
Like, hey, go buy the strategy guide. I want to. I do. But this box is pretty good shape. You know, it's a little crushed on the side, but it's really not that bad, all things considered. And this is my childhood copy in here, but I did track down a box later on. Thankfully, when I bought it, it hadn't shot up the way that it has now. But that's basically true for every game. So maybe that's not even worth mentioning every time. but yeah, that Paper Mario, buddy, good game. Play that game.
Oh, I love that game. I love that game quite a bit, actually. Really good time. Well, Paper Mario, that's a solid one. Good one to have complete. I know that's not easy to do these days, especially. How long have you had that complete? Is that dating back a while?
I've probably had that since 2018 or so, 2017, something like that.
Oh, not too bad. All right. Let's do my number 4, which is going to be one I think a lot of N64 collectors will be aware of. That's Conker's Bad Fur Day, the old BFD. Even has the little advisory there on the old cover project art. This game is not for anyone under age 17, Blink, and I mean it. I don't want any of you kids playing this. It's a nasty, dirty game. They say the S word in it. And the D word, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
S and D.
no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Conker's
That's too much.
Bad Fur Day. This has been on my get around to play this list just to check it out for a long time, but I've yet to do it. It's on the old backlog. We'll get to it someday.
You know, it's funny. It's definitely a pricey boy. I remember back in the day, that was like one of the premier titles on the N64. It's like if you had a Conker's Bad Fur Day, you were hot stuff. It's like that game's worth $60 to $80, and now there's like 40 games on the N64 that most people aren't even gonna play that are worth that much. So
I know.
sad.
Indeed. All right, moving into.
Always good when your spendy boys are ones that you could actually enjoy, though.
That is a good point, and for the N64, I feel like most of them are, except for one.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that. All right, what's your number 4?
All right, number 4. Folks are familiar with this one because I've been playing it on my stream lately.
Aha.
You get the link to that Twitch stream right there. You want some Twitch retro goodness, you can go over to twitch.tv/Blinkoon, give me a follow.
Folks, please do that, by the way.
Ogre Battle 64.
Mm-mm-mm.
Actually, I didn't mention this at the top, but I should. On Twitch, I'm on a quest right now to beat my entire N64 backlog. So I've been playing a lot of these. And we're down to only 5 or 6 games left out of the 57 to finish up. So that said, Ogre Battle 64, surprisingly good game. I feel like, you couldn't call this one a hidden gem copyright, but I think you could say it's underappreciated. Like, folks know that it's out there, that it's valuable, but I don't think folks know that it's as fun as it is. They just know that it's collectible and that it's a desirable RPG. But man, I've been really quite enjoying this one, and it's meaty. There's a lot of game to play.
That's good. Atlas, can't go wrong with that.
I'm trying to think when I got this. I want to say I got this probably around the same time, maybe like 2018, maybe 2019. But most of my N64 collection I've had for a while. I haven't added a new N64 game in some time, honestly, because they all got spendy.
They did. Everything got spendy. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Another game that I'm not even sure that I would like, I've not tried it out yet. I picked this up at Too Many Games just a couple years back, before, Apocalypse now. And that is a game that I'm not even sure what the title of it is, Steve, I'll be honest with you. Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals. I feel like you could title that better. I think
you could.
I think you could be a little bit more clear about what's going on with the title there. And I'm sure it's based on a cartoon I haven't seen and some properties that I'm not real big into. I don't know. I never was really a Transformers guy, but I think maybe just settle on Beast Wars. Maybe just go with Transmetals. I don't know. Pick one.
This is one that I've heard rumors. Was this one of those supposed rental exclusives? I feel like every game on the N64 that is desirable, people just say that about, and then I lose track of if it was ever actually true.
I have no idea about this one. This one is a bit of a mystery to me. So if anyone in the chat knows what the hell is up with this game, I'd love to know. Honestly, it's just one of those that was on my list and I had to get it. But I think you might be right. There's a reason because that's a licensed game that would have sold, I think, well, if it weren't hamstrung by some rental exclusivity, right?
Yeah, something about that cartridge always sticks out to me. The way that its label is like a light gray on the gray cart seems very... It feels like it could be a piece of like office, like business software.
I know. I'm going to pull it back out because I agree. It is the most unassuming thing. I mean, we're talking... Again, I don't know a lot about the property. We're talking frickin' Transformers, guys. Transformers Beast Wars Transmetal, and this looks like somebody took the paint bucket and just filled it all in with gray. We could have had a Transformer back there blowing up. We could have had a Beast or a War or Metal. Ugh.
I guess we kind of got Metal with all that gray.
True. All right, that was my number 3.
Do we need another video game?
Yeah, I'm thinking we need another video game. What do you have for us, friend?
All right. Well, now, Rusty in the chat was asking for some 3D platformers. This is your fix. This is the surprisingly valuable one here. And this is one of the newer games added to my collection. But still not more than a couple years old. Got Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Wow.
So this is a sucker punched developed 3D platformer where you play as this little robot on a little unicycle, and you just go around, you do your thing. You collect a bunch of different objects, a bunch of who's what's it, a bunch of enjoyable little collectibles, and it's pretty fun. I think probably one of the better 3D platformers on the N64 that isn't one of the major franchises, isn't like Conker's, Banjo, or Mario. Of the also-rans, I would say that this is one of the better also-rans. And this cart, if I'm recalling correctly, this is a Blockbuster cart in here. Let me see if that's true.
I did not know that game was fetching so much dough. And I just happened to look through my list here and realize that that one and another one that surprises me is Big Mountain 2000. Apparently that one's fetching some big dough.
Yep, that surprised me. What's the list saying for a loose copy of this these days?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I use an app that I think its price ratings are a few percent points off from what you might see on price charting. This says $81 loose. That might be a little high to some regard. but
yeah, it's
that's surprising.
It's not cheap either way. I remember this box took me a really long time to track down because there was a period where I was just searching eBay trying to find boxes to complete up everything that I had that was still loose, and this one was real hard to come by. But
Yeah,
somebody
no
in the past got this for much cheaper. $21.99 at EB Games crossed out. It was cheaper than that, so who knows?
If I didn't
Very,
think
very
that
fun.
opening up a new window on my computer would send us all home into bed, I would pop it open to see what I paid for that. Because I think that, and we just talked about Big Mountain 2000, I think I picked those up like at the same time for like $8 a piece. So it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
These prices are just crazy. They're crazy, Steve. I don't know what to do.
So much.
It's so crazy. All right, here's my number 2, second most pricey boy that I have on the system. I need to switch over to me. I don't want to... Come on. It's not all about you. It's about me right now. We got Worms Armageddon. Is there a cheaper way to play Worms? Absolutely. It was ported all over the place. You can get it on your PlayStation for a decent price. For some reason, and it might be another one of those rental exclusivity things that I'm unaware of, but this fetches now over $3, and it used to, at least when I picked it up, be at least 33% less than that. So,
Dang.
it's just the way it goes. I got a nice little copy, though. This is a sharp little copy. And I remember actually
That is pretty good.
fetching that while watching a Pete Dorr live eBay hunting stream, because he just knows how to get my juices flowing. So I've had to hide my credit card from myself when I'm watching his stream. But
Worms Armageddon has the very weird, very specific distinction of it was the first weird N64 game that I learned was super collectible. That one and Bomberman's Second Attack was the first time that I realized that sometimes games on N64 that are unassuming are randomly really desirable in a way that seems to exceed their play value. And I was always weird. I guess I should look a little deeper. This is early 2010s that I would have been learning this.
Yes, of course. Yeah. All right. Well, that was my number 2, Worms Armageddon, which I got again right at the very beginning of our latest Armageddon. So it was fitting.
Perfect. All right, let me get you my number 2.
Armless-ageddon, which would be the Worms thing. You get it? That was a Top Spot joke. So if you didn't like it, it was Top Spot's joke.
Funny enough, I'm seeing that my number 2 does have a box protector, but my number 1 doesn't. I'm not a consistent fella. I do not recommend this game. I do not recommend my number 2 game, StarCraft 64.
You don't recommend? Now, I've heard decent things from folks. What are you saying?
Do I recommend StarCraft? Yes, I do. Do I recommend this version of it in particular? No. Coming from the PC version to this one was a bit of a shock. Actually, in 5th, 6th grade, I used to play this at a friend's house, and we kind of would just poke fun at how it's a much inferior version, but you never expect what's going to build memories, right? So then years later, here I am nostalgic for us playing the weird inferior port, and so I tracked a copy down, and then later had to track down a box for that copy once I was deep into my cardboard addiction. Now, it's probably not going to show too much on camera. This is one of my games that's a little worse condition because it's a little sun faded.
Gross.
That's a little more blue-green than it should be. In the front, if you're really familiar with the cover, you'll know that it's a little sun faded too. It's not terrible, but this was already a pretty desirable box when I tracked it down. This was already a pretty collectible game, and so I was willing to take the difference in price between a pristine copy and this one was less than I felt it should have been, and I snatched it up.
Very good. I've heard some mixed things. I've heard some folks say it's not. It's maybe they phrase it as and it's not as bad as you think. Maybe it was a bit apologetic in that way, but all the same,
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. I do want to shout out. There's some folks who have joined the chat here recently, and I do want to say hi to. I see Scooch and Hoobles has shown up. Scruffzilla, hello. Ryan H, I know he's been in there for a while, but I wanted to say hello there. LHC Greg in the house, of course. Bill Chicago is with us tonight.
Oh,
I love Bill Chicago. I feel like I have to say it like I'm announcing him into a hockey game. And, of course, our other mainstays are in the house. I wanted to also mention that Burger Champ will be the only person live with us tonight who has seen my entire collection with his own very eyes. He's been in my game room. And so maybe he can tell the folks in chat just how sharp-looking that N64 shelf is in my house, because I am quite proud of it. All right, so now we're ready to go to my number one priciest game that I have for the Nintendo 64. Steve, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
All right, because it's not, honestly, it's not that exciting. It's really not that exciting of a game. But here we go. We're about to go in. Everybody, check this out. We got Super Bowling. Super Bowling. It is not right how much this game goes for, given what it is.
Yeah. That one's definitely you're trying to complete your collection type of showpiece.
Yeah. And another interesting thing about this one, I picked it up in late 2019, and it cost a lot then. I did some trade-ins, and the guy, I already knew the guy that was selling it, so he was already going to give it to me for a deal. I did some trade-in stuff, and I got it for, I want to say the money that came out of my pocket was like $150. Okay? That's an amount of money I'm ashamed to pay for that game no matter what. But it was for the collection. But I see now it's going for over $700, and that was in late 2019.
Oh my God.
Late 2019. We're talking, I mean, I know it's been 3 years, but you can just go ahead and take 2 of those years off and say, whatever, forget about those. That's a fast, sharp uprising. Now, at the time, I think it was going for, obviously, I told you I got a good deal on top of some trade-in, so it was going for more. Excuse me, I just bumped my mic out of excitement. But now, for what it goes for now, we're lucky. We're lucky. I don't think that thing would be entering my house otherwise. Now, I also have to say, for that amount for any amount of money, it's not worth it. But it's not that bad. I have played through Super Bowling. It's worth. It's a good $25 game. You can have 25. You'd have to, but think about how many times you'd have to play it to get $700 worth of fun out of it. So 28 times. You have to play through it 28 times. Oh, all right. So that was my number one, Steve. Super Bowl.
That's a good one.
Not so
your
super.
Number one absolutely trounces my number one. I mean, I got nothing approximating $700. I'll tell you that right now. That's a big boy.
All right. Well, let's see how close you do get.
All right. I'm worried. The chat, they're screaming for Buck Bumble. Magically, you're not going to see it from me.
Iggy's wrecking balls.
It's funny to prove my point as I grab this. Greg says StarCraft 64 is the one that stops Video Game Sage from their collective beat of the N64 library, so I validated that maybe it's a little bit hard of a port.
Oh, well then you should get an account, go in there, beat, toss your hat in the ring, get that beat for the boys. They need you out there, man.
I don't know if I can. But tell you what I can do. I can show you my number one game. You had it on the top of your shelf. Goemon's Great Adventure. This might be the most recent addition to my N64 collection. I bought this, I want to say, it was either beginning of 2020. I think it was beginning of 2020. I think it was the kind of right before the pandemic hit. And I remember I walked in and there was a local game store near me. They had it complete in box for, well, I'm pretty sure it's complete in box. Let's double check that. Oh yeah, there's a manual in there. They had it for $110, $115, which was even a good price then. At the time, it was going for, $160, $170. And I don't know if it's because, maybe it's a little bit crushed on the side. That doesn't bother me too much. It's holding its shape just fine. So I picked it up because it was like, it was on my wish list and it was too good of a deal to pass up. But I haven't played Mystical Ninja. The first one. So
you gotta play
people
that.
have told me you don't need to play the first one to play this one, but I've avoided it because of that. And Mystical Ninja, the first one, is also not too cheap. So
No.
we'll get around to in a minute here, I'm sure, talking about what we're still looking to track down, especially for you. I'm curious, but Mystical Ninja is what I'm still looking to snag, so that I feel like the set is complete. It's weird to have the more expensive of the two and the sequel, but not the original.
No, I feel that, man. Well, and I agree. You do not have to play Mystical Ninja to know what's going on in Goemon's Great Adventure, because I played through Mystical Ninja. I loved it. Have no idea what happened, so it would not help you at all.
All right, that's fair.
But it was fun.
That's fair.
The pretty good time. All right, so that was our N64, our top dogs. That's what we're proud of around here.
That's our big boys.
That's,
our big boys.
That's why we keep the doors locked. And I did see my boy Briz is in the house. He has also laid eyes on the N64 collection, but not as recent as Burger Champ. So I'm just saying, come over sometime, Brian. We got games. All right. Let's get through some sentimentals, and then I got a big thing to send us out on before we get to the Jaguar. Some sentimentals here. Steve, I've been telling you that you need to play. Switch over to me here. You've got to play this Extreme G. You've got to play this racing game. Put it on your list if you don't have it, you idiot. It's so good. It's so fast for the N64.
You've been telling.
It's so good.
I don't have it. I'm embarrassed to admit. I'll put it on the I'll put it on the wish list right now.
It's so good. No one's
doing
talking
it
about it.
live.
No one's talking about it. I'm the only one on earth that likes it, but I really think that it's I mean, there's a lot of really good N64 racing games, but this one really does feel different. It's it feels almost like you're just in a like Tron sort of roller coaster speed bike thing, and the feeling of speed is impressive for the N64.
I mean, those games are known for their speed, right? I think the
Extreme G, buddy. Extreme.
The Extreme G3 is one I'm familiar with, and you can get going real quick in that game. So,
yeah, that might be. Was that GameCube? Is that the third one's on the Cube?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that too. It's pretty good. I'm gonna just rifle through these. My other one here, and I had a snafu with my printer, so I gotta take another lap on this one, if you will. But I'm going to be the one that does this for both of us tonight. I'm going to bring Beetle Adventure Racing out and see my printer chopped off my Beetle up there. I gotta go at it again. This game is way better than it should be for a game that's based on freaking little Volkswagens. Again, N64 racing games, that's its strength. It's so good.
It is phenomenal. I just beat that one days ago, and yeah, I was really impressed.
It's stupid good. I think the whole time I played it, I was like, you shouldn't be. I kept telling it, you shouldn't be this good.
Get off it. What
are you doing?
What are you trying to prove?
When's the game-breaking bug going to show up? You shouldn't be this good.
Yeah.
And then the last one I want to share here is the game that I probably played the most with a buddy, the guy that I grew up friends with who had the N64, I had the PlayStation. We played NBA Hang Time on the N64 in ungodly amounts, to the point that our records were like in the hundreds. You can play on the same team and have that tracked, and so we were a very dynamic duo with NBA Hang Time, to the point that actually this is one of the few games that I have an actual box for, and I think this might have came from LHC Greg's in the house tonight. I had to get this box because that's a special game. Got to have the box for your special games, right? NBA Hang Time.
Beautiful.
Hundreds of hours.
You do, all of them. That's why they're all special to me.
Ah, right. Of course. All right.
I've got a couple sentimentals, but I'd be remiss not to grab one more. So give me 1 sec.
Oh, all right. I'll cut off of you. That way we don't have to see you walk away. I don't want to have to show off your big, meaty tenderloins to the people. All right, folks, how are we doing? Are we doing pretty good? Steve is taking a really long time to take his earbuds out. I don't know what he's doing. Oh my God.
I grabbed two.
Oh, he's already back. Okay, sorry, your video hasn't caught up yet. Did you get an umbrella while you were gone?
Yeah, I always bring myself
a
little umbrella in case it starts raining in the game room.
Man, I gotta tell you, man, you're on a weird lag for me. I'm going to apologize to you, God, YouTube, everybody here tonight. I'm so sorry. This mountain internet.
I trust that all the people out there are going to be interested to hear what I have to say when the time comes.
I think you're back. You're back. It was just, I think it had to compress your tenderloin meat. You got up and the internet was like, oh, trying to process all the pixels, and it slowed down. But now that you're back, I think you've caught back up.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to rock through a handful of sentimentals here. One, now this is one of my roughest boxes, but got that original Zelda. Look at how smashed up that is.
I love it.
Now that's because your boy, he opened this box hundreds of times in his life. I was obsessed with this game. I always attribute this game to being kind of what like got me more serious about games. Like I was a Genesis kid, N64, I was into it, and I remember, and again another story that I've told before to some folks, but it was 5th grade, and this was like the hotness. This is what everyone was talking about all of a sudden. And I had never heard of it. I'd never heard of Zelda before because, again, I had a Genesis growing up.
Ooh.
And this was, I think, a little bit before I ever played Link's Awakening because I didn't play that until I got a Game Boy Color. So this was a series I was unfamiliar with, and I wanted to be popular. I wanted to be cool, and so I did the thing again. Snotty Steve. I convinced my parents I got to buy this game. I got to buy Zelda. It was full on. It was a popularity play. I needed to be a cool kid, and I remember. They brought me to Target. We bought it. I remember driving home, and on the back it says Ganondorf, the King of Thieves. It doesn't say anything because it's all blurry, but you trust me. It says
I trust you 100%.
Ganondorf, the evil King of Thieves. And I remember saying to myself, thinking in my head, my 9-10-year-old head, Ganondorf, what a stupid name.
Right?
I can't believe I have to play this game to talk to my friends at school. I was not looking forward to it. No excitement. And then it was instantly I was hooked. Instantly I was like, oh my God, as soon as I plugged it in, it was the greatest game I had ever played. Obsessed. Loved every second of it. My mom got so into watching me play it that she would like demand to be around. I remember one time it was like 9:30 at night, and I was stuck. I was stuck in Jabu's belly. And she knew, we both knew, because I had the strategy guide, that we got to be the adult version of Link after this dungeon. This is the last dungeon, then you get to be the adult version. And she wanted to see the adult version so bad that at 9:30, 10 at night, she made me call my friend. Again, we're 5th graders. That kid is probably asleep. She made me call him that night and be like, Joe, how do you get past this part in the Jabu's belly? And sure shit, he answered. He told me. We made it through, and we got to Adult Link that night. It was so good.
Dang, dude. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And you're
a lot of memories with this. It's often, it's in the running for my favorite game ever. Like I'm one of them folks.
And Joe's mom wasn't unhappy about this. She let you guys continue to be friends well beyond your days of playing Ocarina of Time.
In my memories, she was not upset.
Oh, very good.
She's not upset.
That's wonderful.
Next one up, keep the train rolling.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask. This is the first game I ever pre-ordered in my life. I pre-ordered it from Walmart and played it day one because, by this time I was such a big Zelda fan. I remember driving out all the way, probably, 15 miles to the Walmart out in like Stillwater or something, and popped this thing in, and I was in love. It lived up to my hype. I liked this one just as much as Ocarina of Time when I first played it. I thought it was a great follow-up sequel. Quite a big fan. One of the things I would most love to have is like one of the weird collectibles that I would love to have in my collection is to track down the pre-order slip from Walmart so that I could have the slip for the first game I ever pre-ordered, but I have not been able to find one, at least not at a reasonable price. So yeah, we got that Majora's Mask.
Very good. All right, you brought up the old Zelda duo there for the N64. Those are your biggest sentimentals?
Yep. We got two more. One,
all right.
I mean, we can't not talk about that Perfect Dark, the superior GoldenEye. I don't want you out here sitting in your college dorms playing GoldenEye. I'm sorry, but Perfect Dark is the superior shooter, and Diddy Kong Racing is the superior kart racer. These are objective facts. Love this game. Play this one with my friends all the time. We spent so many hours doing a multiplayer with like the Turtle Sim and the Peace Sim and
of course
all sorts of stuff, tracking down all the cheats, finding all the little cheeses that were hidden in the level. I was all in.
Very good. I never finished that one.
And
got pretty far though.
Oh, buddy, get in there.
I got
get
far
in there,
enough.
Finish that.
I'm imperfectly dark as far as that game goes. What else you got?
You are imperfect. Last one. He was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still around, but my buddy Nick, one of my best friends on this planet.
Wow.
I met him because of this game, Donkey Kong 64. He was in 6th grade. I was playing this one at the time. I was a big 3D platformer fan. And I was talking to another friend of mine about Donkey Kong 64. And he turns around and apparently he had just gotten a Nintendo. He'd got the Donkey Kong the Jungle Green bundle, and this was his first N64 game, so he was freshly playing it. And so he turns around, he says, "Y'all talking some of that donkey? Talking that Donkey Kong?"
Whoa! He
And
came at you like
know
that,
it, buddy. Yep. And it was a hit from there. Before you know it, we were playing Perfect Dark into the wee hours of the morning on our weekend sleepovers. So
wow,
there's a lot of good platformers I could pull out. Could pull out some BK, some Banjo-Tooie, but we got to go with that Donkey Kong 64 because it's a game that got me a friend.
Man, it's always good to get friends. I've said it before. I wish I had some. In fact, very good. Man, I know you grew up with N64, so that makes a lot of sense that you'd have so many sentimental ones. Shouting out to some folks that are rolling through here. We got a Nick Thorpe. Is that your boy?
He's the Nick. He's the man.
Nick.
He's the Donkey Kong pervert himself.
Nick, thanks for donking it up for us. And then I saw a short fat kid roll through real quick, say something snide. And then we got we got some people wanting to make fun of me for not having finished Ocarina of Time. And I agree. I do feel bad about it. I mean, kick me, beat me, club me to death. Do what you got to do. I already feel bad, But you know what? You know what, though? I don't feel that bad, Steve. I don't feel that bad. Because we got that. We got the Pikachu N64 set. Okay? We got the whole kit and the caboodle. We got the whole thing. We got the whole thing.
That's a big boy.
We got the whole thing. I don't feel that bad about that.
What's the story behind that? How'd you track?
Sorry.
I like the dramatic. I couldn't see it. I just had to trust that I was owned.
Yeah, sorry. I whacked the microphone with the box about 13 times there. I apologize to everyone's ears. The story, Steve, is a very simple story. Many years ago, about a decade and a little bit of change on that decade, I was at a pawn store just opened up down the street at an old place I lived at. I popped in there, and, it was the pawn store where everything gaming was just stupid overpriced. I couldn't pick up a sports game from that place. I basically just went there. It was like my rounds around town. I would pop into the thrift store. I'd pop into the game store. And then I would hit the pawn shops just in case. And this one day, I pop in. I've been trying to get this thing open the entire time I've been talking, and I don't know how to do it. That side's taped. We'll flip it. I'll keep talking. So one day I pop in there, and they got this thing on display, and they got $120 on it. And I was like, I'm not paying that for it. And the guy in front of me was trying to haggle. on it, and I was like, man, is he going to get this thing? And he talked to the guy, and he's like, yeah, and he opens it up. He's like, yeah, I could probably do like 99 on it or something. And the guy was like, oh, come on, man, you get $70. And he was like, no, man, sorry, man, I can't do 70, man. I'm sorry, bud. And he's like, all right, fine. He just left. And I was like, bud, this thing's worth a little bit more than $99. So I went up there and said, I'll be taking that for, what did you say to him? $99. So I got it for $99. And it is in great shape. Now, it is missing one piece. It's missing the watch. But we do have... We do have the old Pikachu there. You got the Pokeball for your power switch. You're off and on over here. It comes with the controller. I've already got the game. The game is shelved, so the game is not in the box. But it is a nice little piece. I'll be honest with you. It's got the the microphone attachment. The controller is super duper cool. That's just a cool controller right there. It's got the little mic in there. So yeah, all we're missing is the watch. I've occasionally, very rarely, but sometimes I'll look for the watch on like eBay. I never see it listed ever, so I don't know if it's even a thing that people know that they have, or I don't know where those things ended up. But if I could complete the set, that would be great. But I don't think I'll be able to.
Still though, that's a beautiful thing. I'm jelly of that boy. I'm jelly of that one.
Yep.
Wish I had it.
Well, guess what? You don't. I do. I wonder what it goes for now, though. It's one of those things, like, after you buy it, you never pay attention to it. So
you're like, all right.
Now that I have it, I don't give a shit what it goes for. It can go for $1 for all I care. I just wanted the thing. What does it go for? Let's find out. Let's look on the internet.
It definitely goes for more. Now, you don't need
Holy
to switch over
fuck!
to Big Steve or anything, but
it goes for like $1,000.
Okay?
No, it goes for like $1,000. So yeah, we got pretty good deal. We got pretty good deal down there at what is it? I think it's Dave's Pawn Shop. Good job, Dave.
Damn, Dave. You do well. That's a console I'll never own.
Top Spot says, "How's the sponge on that mic?" I'm going to say it is very orange and potentially dry rotted, and I will not touch it.
That's a beautiful console. That thing is awesome. I'd love to own it. As I was saying, you don't got to switch over to my big cam, but I've only got the old regular edition. All right, we call this the poverty N64. the normie.
Oh, what is that junk? Ooh, gross.
I know. It's pretty glossy though. Pretty shiny. Oh, you can peep that ring light. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a nice ring light.
Yeah. I got that Mario 64, that Shadows of the Empire, also a good game. Killer Instinct Gold, Pilot Wings, Cruisin', just a good box.
That's a great box.
Nintendo 64 box.
I love to see it. I love to stare at it and look at it. Very good. Very good. I do want to circle back. Somebody asked me why I had the candle on tonight, if it was to set the mood, and of course it is. Anytime I talk to Steve, I like to set the mood. I like it to be somewhere between romantic and ambiguously sexual. And I keep it right there. I toe that line very hard, and I think it's been good. All right, shall we just jump ahead into the Jaguar? Let's just move on.
Let's do it.
Do we need? No, I'm sorry, Steve. We have to do a little quick. What are you looking for? Bit about the N64.
Yes. All right. Why don't you go first, because yours is very interesting. You're down to 15 games. I don't think it would be that unreasonable for you to just tell me the 15 that you still need.
Sure, I will do that. I'm going to list them off in alphabetical order for you, but for everyone out there tonight. We need Bomberman 64: The Second Attack.
That's a big boy.
That's fetching a little over $2. I need Carmageddon 64. It's got the guy with the mean face on it. You've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah. I need Chameleon Twist 2. The second Chameleon Twist.
That's one that's on my wish list as well. I would love to have Chameleon Twist 2.
Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut.
I remember passing on a copy of that game for $17 at a pawn shop. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Yeah, you idiot. Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, obviously I need that one. That's a couple car payments now. FIFA 98 Road to World Cup. It's $14. I just don't ever think about it. I'm not looking for it. It'll find me.
I have to imagine when you're that close. I have to imagine it feels kind of nice to have at least some left on the list that aren't hundreds of dollars, where you're like, I always have this around in case I need a little boost.
Yeah, there's a handful of those that I keep in the chamber just so that I don't feel terrible. Fighter Destiny 2, and if Fighter Destiny 1 it says anything, Fighter Destiny 2 is a terrible game. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. That one's been creeping up in price for a bit. International Superstar Soccer 2000. This is one of those games where I'm like, I will find somebody will goof on that, and think that's
a mistake waiting to happen in your favor.
And I've been waiting for 13 years, and I've yet to see that mistake happen. NBA In the Zone 2000, surprisingly pricey sports game.
Yep.
PGA European Tour, very surprisingly pricey sports game.
Who wants the European Tour?
I know, that's what I say, man. But that goes for about $130. Powerpuff Girls, the Chemical Extraction. Gotta have it. Need it. Give it.
That one seems more doable, right?
Yeah.
That one's probably more reasonable in price.
Yeah, it's like $20. The first Snowboard Kids, and like you, I have the second. I don't have the first.
Now, in terms of Snowboard Kids, I have the first. I don't have the second. I'll trade you.
Oh, will you? Stunt Racer 64. That is my next big one. It's second to Clay Fighter in terms of price that I have left. It's going for about $400. Tonic Trouble and V-Rally Edition 99. So those are the 15 that are remaining.
All right. You've got your work cut out for you there. It's sad when most of the ones you have left are $100 or more, but
hey,
you will definitely. It's still totally within reason that
yeah.
With patience, luck, and some trades, maybe when a copy comes in locally, you could get it down to just Sculptor's Cut, and then you have to make a big decision.
Yeah, and honestly, comparing it to like the NES or some other stuff that I'm collecting for, the N64 is like baby mode for what I have left. Like I feel like I can be extremely patient because I'm like, I'll get lucky. I've gotten lucky. I have Super Bowling. Yeah. I'm fine. All right, what do you want?
That's fair. So we've talked about a couple of them that I want to complete sets for series that I already like. Mystical Ninja. I want that Snowboard Kids 2. Really want that one because Snowboard Kids 1 is a game I actually played a pretty good amount as a kid. Chameleon Twist 2. And then most of my other big wants are I mentioned this earlier, but it's the also ran 3D platformers of the N64. So things like Duck Dodgers, Earthworm Jim 3, Buck Bumble, Tonic Trouble, those ones. I don't have any of those 3D platformers, and they're all doable-ish. They vary in price. You're probably paying triple digits, but you can track them down. And so those are the big ones that I still want, is those spendy sequels and then those C-tier 3D platformers.
We got to get there. We've got to get there, and we will. We will. All right,
we'll do it.
Folks, if you thought the N64 controller was your least favorite thing to hold, you haven't tried the Jaguar. And even then, the N64, I think, might be a little bit worse in some regard. I'll say this, Steve. I grew to like the Jaguar controller when I played Wolfenstein 3D on the Jaguar.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I don't hate the form factor of the Jaguar controller. It's mostly the D-pad. If it had a better D-pad, I would accept it.
There you go.
I got big hands. I don't mind a wide controller.
Yeah.
But it's the D-pad is one of the worst.
I have tiny hands, so I can't bear it. Look how tiny my hands are. That's as big as they get. I'm stretching them as hard as I can. I can't do it.
Oh.
So I didn't bring my Jaguar out, but let's get into some pictures. Let's see. Did you bring pictures? You do have some pictures. Let's get to some Steve pics, folks. First, I'm going to show what you've got hanging over a window, Steve.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So we've got a nice, large, it's probably 5 foot, 4 foot Jaguar vinyl banner. And that thing's pretty awesome. I tracked that down years and years ago, right around the time that I got my Jaguar. I went searching on eBay to see if there's any good scoops, any good deals, and I came across that banner. Couldn't say no, and so it proudly hangs in the window, just ready to tell everyone that this is an Atari Jaguar household.
Man, that's pretty sweet. Does the sun impact that at all, or no?
No, at least it hasn't as of yet. Long term, I don't want to keep it over the window, but there's just not a lot of other good spots to hang it.
I understand. You drop it down, let the eyes hang up just above the bottom of the window and creep out your neighbors.
True. Unfortunately, it isn't double-sided, so from the back it's just a big white wall.
Bummer town. All right, let's jump up to your box. I see a Jaguar box here. Got the power kit.
Yeah, so I don't have much in terms of collecting stories for Jaguar because I've only ever had 2 interactions with the Jaguar. Well, 3. I got my Jaguar and I think 3 of the games at the same time. So it was $300. I got the complete in box Jaguar, and I got Cybermorph, Tempest 2000, and Trevor McFur, I think. So I got all of those in one lot years and years ago, and that's where most of my stuff came from. So it's a little smashed in on the top. I have the actual one that I can pull up and show folks if they want to see it in the flesh. But pretty cool to have a boxed Jaguar, I gotta say.
It is pretty neat. And then we're looking at your games now. Now those are your 5 games.
Yeah, so when we go through our top 5, if we go through them, spoilers, you know them.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah. So I want more Jaguar stuff. The Jaguar is my kind of console, right? I think you and I share this proclivity for the underdog, kind of janky, weird, lesser loved consoles that have some real rough games with some real heart. And so Jaguar seems like a collection that should be bigger for me, but it's just at least in the person, I never see a Jaguar game, and especially having the cardboard addiction I do. I mean, when's the last time that you saw a complete in box Jaguar game in a retail store? Ever?
I will answer that shortly. But I will agree that it's rare. Not common. All right, so those are your... Did you send me a Jag video at all? I don't think you did.
No video. Good, which is good because I don't want to destroy your computer.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to switch over to my... I still got my sexy N64 pick there. Switch over to my picture here. These are my games. I didn't pull them out and put them on. What kind of pile of carpet is that? Is that a high pile or a mid pile? It's a nice carpet. What are you, rich? It's a good carpet.
That's a mid pile. That's a mid pile. This
right.
is some of the fluffier parts of the carpet. All right, I don't want to brag.
Fair enough.
I'm glad to see that folks are showing the Trevor McFur some love in the chat. We'll talk McFur. It's a banger, and it is. That's an original game. That's not a modern homebrew. Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Man, this Jag collection, that picture finally pulled up. You've probably been looking at it for 20 minutes at this point, but oof, I am jelly.
Yeah, here's some interesting things about this collection. So you can see there are a couple, at least if you look at Syndicate, Cybermorph, Tempest, Dino Dudes, and Kasumi Ninja, those are all in Universal Game cases, so those are not complete in box. The Wolfenstein, the fatter ones there, Wolfenstein, Checkered Flag, Iron Soldier, and Doom are in the cardboard. Now, Checkered Flag and Iron Soldier, I was able to find those just in a store, boxed, and even the Iron Soldier still sealed. Now you're like, sealed? What does that go for? It goes for like $8. There's a reason it's sealed. There's a reason that I got it, right? It's not good. In Checkered Flag, of course. So I do want to shout out, he's probably not here, but our pal Diego actually gifted me Tempest 2000 just out of the blue one time. He heard that I had a Jaguar, and he sent me a gift, and he said, obviously he doesn't own a Jaguar, but he's like, when I heard about the Jaguar as a kid, this is the game that I wanted so bad, and so you have to have it. So then I had it, and it's addictive fun. It's a lot of fun. So Doom and Wolfenstein 3D are the other two that are there, and actually I'm going to flip off of that. I'm going to go to us on camera because I brought these. Here's the Tempest in the plastic flesh, if you will. I'll set that aside. I didn't bring like a top 5. I was just going to show off certain ones. The Doom, and did I bring the Doom? I brought the Doom. So the Doom, and I saw that Ryan H here said that he got the Doom with his Jaguar, that's good. That's a good haul. That's a good day. This one's nice because you can network it. If you have a friend with a Jaguar, you can network and play it together. Now you're thinking Steve, or you're thinking Trav. I'm Trav. You're Steve. You're thinking Trav. Nobody has a friend with a Jaguar. At least not today. You wouldn't have that. Well, I'll tell you what. I went to my buddy Tim's house. 2 Jag Tim, I call him. He's got two PVMs, 2 Jags, and we each brought a copy of Doom to the table, and we're able to play it co-op, which is a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
So good.
I'm jealous. Stupid Tim, always hanging out with you playing co-op Doom.
It is unbelievably fun. It changes it up. It's a whole new game. It's somehow faster and just brutal. And there's friendly fire, which makes it hilarious. And then the last thing I want to show, and I love this so much I even gifted it to you, Steve. That's Wolfenstein 3D. I love this version. This might be my favorite version of this game. I don't know if anyone would say that a certain version rivals this, but this to me is like the best. And it come with the controller insert, which you get for a lot of the games, but this helped the game out quite a bit. I mean, you got a go-to map button here. You just bring up the map, automatic save right in the middle of the game. You just save your freaking game right on the controller. Oh. So that's where I started really loving the Jaguar controller, because it has some of that functionality that that back in the day you really wanted to have. An automatic save button. Are you freaking kidding me right now? So, by the way, this is if you're not familiar with the Jaguar gamepad, you got to stretch your hands out. That's why mine are shaped like this now, because I had to hold on to this to play Wolfenstein. There you go. That's what I brought tonight for the Jaguar. What do you got?
That's a beautiful thing. I'll just run through my stack. So we've got Cybermorph, and this box is feeling a little light. I'm thinking that Cybermorph might still be sitting in my Jaguar. This is like a 3D. I don't know. You can maybe say it's sort of Descent-like, or like the free-range missions in Star Fox. Janky, but it's enjoyable. It's got heart, and I got that with the Jag. We talked about it before. One of the best games on the Jaguar, Tempest 2000. Really great game. Beautiful. A lot of fun. Very difficult. I think this is one of the games. There's probably 3 or 4 games, maybe even only 2, that people really ever talk about the Jaguar in terms of like positive things to say. And this is definitely one of them. Yeah. To be clear, anyone who's knocking the Jaguar is wrong.
I was going to say that game and both id ports are great.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We got that Wolfenstein. So yep, this one Trav sent me. My buddy. Now I felt a little guilty because you were kind enough to send this. We were for those who aren't aware, last year we were doing a challenge where we said we're going to beat one game on every console we own. And I got down to the Jag, and as you see, I have 5 games on the Jag. Turns out a lot of games on the Jaguar are really freaking hard.
Yeah.
The other one that I had that I was trying to get through but didn't is Zool 2, which I ended up buying in a Midwest Gaming Classic some years back. The 2D platformer. But you saw me struggling, and you sent this my way because you were like, buddy, this is one you can do. You can make your way through Wolf 3D. I did. You can too. But in the time it took this to get there, I had already started up my obsession with Trevor McFur and the Crescent Galaxy. This is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, shmup as the teens say, on the Jaguar. It's amazing. It's got no music. I'm the only one in the world that likes it, but after 3 streams of consistent play and 10 plus hours, I finally made my way through this game. We saw the dub, we got those credits, I know who made it, and I've never been happier. I liked it so much that this guy on the front cover we turned into an emote on my Twitch channel. You can drop this handsome mug anytime you want if you're subscribed on Twitch. So this is my favorite Jaguar game, and now I would recommend people check it out. Now, a fair warning, if you check this out, you're not gonna like it, but I really like it.
Now, tell me, do you have Stockholm Syndrome? Now, no, if you ask somebody if they have Stockholm Syndrome, they would say no. But yeah. I need you to think beyond yourself. Do you have Stockholm Syndrome from playing Trevor McFur? Does Trevor McFur own your thoughts of Trevor McFur, or do you have your own thoughts of Trevor McFur?
I have my own thoughts of Trevor McFur, okay? Now, the one thing I'll genuinely knock it for, it doesn't have any music, which is weird.
That's
you
weird.
Think that a shoot-'em-up should have some music, but it doesn't. Man, the bots heard us talk about Trevor McFur, and
they went nuts.
They started dropping some heat.
They went absolutely nuts.
They know we're all lonely when we're talking about this. Thank you to the mods.
Yeah.
If that's you, or Trav, if that's you, thank you guys.
I may top a mod while you were talking because I was like, I can't do both. So thankfully, Top Spot. Hopefully, he's not going to bed anytime soon. But he's out. He's cleaning up. He's cleaning the house. But yeah. The bots love it.
What I will say though, if you would get past the fact that there's no music, there's actually a pretty good variety of like special weapons and stuff in this game, and it's got some nice backgrounds. It's not without redemption. It's solid. So, you know, I a little bit have an opinion colored by the fact that I played it for 3 straight streams and had a really good time on stream with it. It might be a little worse if you play it alone in your living room.
That's a good point. I think I could definitely get a feel that your time was made better by the community that rallied around you and Trevor McFern. I'm sure that made for some good memories. But
folks were invested, and I appreciated it.
Because I have tried to play that game before and was like, God damn, this is awful. In like 10 minutes, I was out. And then for you to be like, it's actually probably my favorite game on the Jaguar, I was like, what? No. You're a person I respect. I can't let you just run around saying stuff like this without checking you on it. But I think you make a lot of good points there. Yeah. All right. Are we done with Jaguar? You got something else? All right.
No, that's it.
Would anyone like to see some Super Nintendo? Because we're about to whip it out.
Super Nintendo.
All right. Let's talk about the Super Nintendo. What do you... Actually, I almost forgot to do this part. Is there anything that you're looking for the Jaguar, or are you done? You pulling out of the race?
Oh, no. Jaguar, there's still stuff that I want. I want there's a RPG called Towers 2 that I'd like to get. Not cheap at all. There's a kart racer called Atari Karts that I want to track down. And then I feel like the big hole in my collection is that Alien vs Predator game. That's one that everybody points to as like the Jaguar system seller. So I'd like to get AVP as well. Also, Jaguar is one of those consoles. I'm not like a complete library collector in most instances, but the Jaguar library is small enough and there's enough weird jank where I could reasonably see myself just kind of accidentally slowly chipping away at enough of it to where I'm within spitting distance and try to get the full set.
Yeah, it's pricey though. It's a pricey console.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially if you want the cardboard around everything.
If you want the cardboard on that Atari carts, you're looking at about $500. And it's expensive.
It wasn't that expensive when I added it to my wish list 8 years ago.
I know, same thing, because I have it on mine as well, because I also want Alien vs. Predator, Atari carts, which is $300 loose, Raiden, and Rayman. There's a Rayman on the
Rayman, yes, that's a big one that I'd love to get. Raiden too, honestly.
Yeah, so I'm looking at just adding 4 more, I'll be happy, but that 4 alone is quite a bunch of money. All right, now, Steve, I'm excited to show some. I almost said N64 because it rhymed, but we're done with N64. This is Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo.
I mean, it also rhymes to say you're excited to.
Oh man, I switched over to videos and you died.
Some Super Nintendo.
Yeah. All right. So before I play this video, and I know the screen is black for everyone right now, and I apologize. I think I need to go scale it down by about 400%, because every time I play,
you're worried about it, and we just need to talk numbers, and you want to forego the video for the sake of keeping the stream alive. That's fine too.
But I mean, the videos are so nice. They're so good. I don't know if I can. You know what? Let's vamp for 1 minute. Let me go in here to the source image and see if I can downsample it to a quarter of the size that it is. I think that would make me and everyone else happy.
Top Spot. See, this is why I like having friends that understand me. He's calling me on my BS, and yes, 100%. Bubsy in the Fractured Furry Tales is a game that is on my wish list. Probably the highest priority out there. So I would love to add that one. Thank you. I apologize. He's moderating my opinions in real time, truly putting that wrench to the test, but he's not wrong.
He is like that.
I'd love to get that Bubsy.
He be like that. He do. Let's see. What else can I try to do here? I'm just going to try to make it small. Let's try that. I'm trying to make... This will do nothing to help us, but I'm going to try it. All right? I'm going to make it smaller. And Steve, just talk less.
This is still going to break everything, but...
Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. I got to highlight that. Oh, we got this. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. We're going to put it right in the middle. And just hope to God.
Do it.
All right. I'll just narrate. All right, folks, we got Plock. You see Robo-Trek. We're going to be scooping down to the... You stop talking, Steve. You're making it weird. Look there. We got some Street Fighter 2. Super Castlevania 4. A man that likes to put his Castlevania 4 with the rest of the supers. I admire it. I do the same. Look, we got our Star Wars trilogy hanging out there. A little Valis. Tom and Jerry. Uniracers coming in there near the end. It looks like an import. Jackie Crush. What is that? Don't answer yet. Don't talk.
Oh, I pulled that out. I'll show.
Oh, you pulled it out. Okay.
A little bit.
Okay, good. When you talk, it's weird. Makes everybody uncomfortable. We're rolling back through the top since I missed that first part. We got our Legend of Zelda. We got Lagoon. A Lufia in the box.
Round 2's popping Lufia wood.
Oh, yeah, of course. We got that Lufia. All right, now we're back to where I was earlier, I believe. All right, now, Steve, I'm going to switch back over to our two dudes view. Tell me, what's the count on your collection? How many games was that we just rolled through?
Yeah, let me get you some numbers here. Also, Chris Glidden, hello. He says it's surreal to watch us versus the podcast. I hope we also had Cheeky Fuzz in the chat saying that we look way different in their head. So we're kind of shattering some people's realities. I hope that we look better than you thought we did.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I hope that we
are
exceeding expectations.
Yes, I'm hoping for, wow, look at these handsome fellas. This is what I'm hoping they said first. Well, no, we'll find out later, I guess.
I mean, we call ourselves hunks pretty often on the podcast, so we're not lying.
And I dare anyone to disagree with it.
Okay, so my count is we have 57 Super Nintendo games and 5 imports, so 62 total if you count Super Famicom in that bunch. They are all CIB in the sense that they all have the cart, instructions, and box, except for I don't have a Prince of Persia manual on the Super Nintendo. That's the only game that's missing its manual. I do have some other games that are missing pieces, like I'm missing a couple of the maps from like Illusion of Gaia and stuff, and I'm missing the poster from Secret of Mana. So they're not all like fully 100% complete, but all of them have the box and the manual with the exception of Prince of Persia, which is missing a manual. And yeah, 57 in total. And this is a system, we'll talk later, but man, this is a system where there's still so much more that I want to get.
Yeah.
So much more.
All right. Very good. Okay. We're going to scooch it over to me. We're going to scooch over to my videos. My videos are a bit bigger, Steve. I'm surprised. I want to comment here. This isn't like, I know we do different things as collectors. I was expecting a bigger Super Nintendo collection from you. This is almost smaller than your N64 collection. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, they're about the exact same size, actually. It's because, again, a lot of my collection, the ones that are big, I acquired them when they were very cheap. And Super Nintendo, for someone with a cardboard addiction, has never been cheap. There's never been an affordable time to buy Super Nintendo. I mean, relatively there has been. I would certainly go back and pay prices that I saw in 2015 happily now, but it's never been easy. So
gotcha. All right, well, I've switched over to my videos. You'll have to speak lightly while I speak heavily. So I have 2 videos here, and unfortunately they're kind of long, and I can't speed them up because my internet sucks, my computer's slow, so everyone please forgive that. I'll vamp as best I can. But I have to show videos in 2 ways because unlike Steve, who does a great job of curating a nice, concise cardboard collection, mine's a bit haphazard in a couple of ways. In fact, 3 different ways this thing is haphazard. 1, I'm a loose collector at heart, so most of my games are loose. That's what we're rolling through here. We just went by a red copy of Doom, Steve, just to keep you in the loop because I know you're on a lag. And so what we're showing here now are all of my loose games in an alphabetical order. And you'll notice that it is. I agree. And it's a very beautiful thing. And you'll notice that I am not a stickler for condition.
No, I was going to say, I saw that big Sky Trooper looking a little rough.
Yeah, it looks like one of my Uncle Jim's teeth, which he's lucky to still have, but it is a British tooth yellow. So and I brought a couple out tonight that are in rough shape that I wanted to show, because for me, my Super Nintendo collection, I'm a little more picky about my NES stuff, but my Super Nintendo collection, I'm like, whatever, just give it here. I'll take it. So I have some rescues.
Good to have a ratty one.
I have some rescues. I even stopped the video here and actually adjust this label so that it's legible. So I have some real janky looking games in this collection. It adds character, let's be honest, It adds a lot of character. I'm going to try to speed this video up. I don't know why it's going at the speed of a freaking drunk mole's ass, but it's slow. Let me see here. I'm afraid to touch anything for fear of exploding the computer and everything else, but I'm going to bump it up a little bit. All right, so... Oh, it started the video over, wouldn't you know? All right, so now, when we go through here, you'll see all these loose games. And there's Lion King. I pulled that one out a little bit. I'm going to skip ahead. I'm just going to skip ahead. I pull out another couple of janky ones. I mean, folks get the idea. It's loose video games. You've seen one, you've seen them all. We can go through the list there. We're in the S's. I skipped ahead. Now we're in the T's. Imagine that. Right after the S's. The W's. Scooting through. And then we're at the end.
Actually a terrible pitch for what we're doing right now. Video games, if you've seen them, if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
And it's true. It's true. There's no way to sugarcoat what's going on here. So that was the first video of just the loose stuff. I don't know why it played so slow. Stop yelling. I'm not even gonna look at the chat. I'm sure everyone's screaming. But that was it. That's my jack-o'-lantern's mouth of loose Super Nintendo games. Okay. Now I have a second video that hopefully goes by ever so slightly quicker. And so what we're seeing on screen here. We'll make it smaller because for some reason in my brain that helps things go by better. I'll skip through. So these little boxes that you see, so the way that my games are typically presented, it's my loose stuff, right? And then what I'm showing in the second video is the stuff I typically put in front of that jack-o'-lantern's mouth, which are my more pricey ones on display because space is an issue. And so I've gone to miniboxes.net or miniboxes.com or the mini boxing games. We'll look it up in a minute. But there is a company or a guy, an Etsy guy that makes these mini boxes for your games, and they form fit to your cartridges. And so that's what you see here. I don't have an Earthbound box. I don't have a Final Fantasy III box, but I have these mini boxes that I think look really friggin' good, and they serve as protection for my games, and they cover up my ratty ones. They make my games look decent, right? So these are some of the ones that I have on display. So I went and gotten boxes for the ones that are a little more esteemed in the collection. I'm skipping through because the video is for some reason slow. Mega Man Soccer, Mega Man X2, Soul Blazer, of course, Sunset Riders, Super Mario RPG, Super Metroid. So those are, and I brought a few of those boxes so that I can show them out here in just a second. And I think I also have a picture of something. Nope, didn't bring a picture. So, one thing that we don't get in our in the video is I actually do have boxed Super Nintendo games. It might be at the end of this video.
Oh.
Boom, boom, boom. Skip to the end. There we go. Nothing crazy, but I do have a handful, like maybe 20 that are in the box that I have on the shelf. So that's the old Super Nintendo collection. Now, if the internet were better and my computer were better and everything was better, that would have been much a much better presentation, of course. But I do have a whopping, doing the math here, drum roll please, 272 Super Nintendo games. I also have a decent wish list
big.
too. But it's not bad. It's not bad. There's bigger ones. But yeah, that's what we've got. That's what we've got. So, where do we want to start? Prices?
Yeah, let's run down that top 5. That's always a good way to kick us off.
All right, let's see it. Yours or mine?
You want me to go first?
Please. Please.
I'll do mine first.
Do it.
We'll go first. All right.
I vamped through my own shitty slow videos for too long. It's your turn to talk.
All right, that's fair. So my first, or I guess my 5th most pricey boy, a beat 'em up. Now I'm not much of a beat 'em up guy, but I do enjoy this one. We got Sonic Blast Man 2.
Wow.
And this is a fun one because it's still got the plastic on it. Like only the side was cut off, and otherwise we still got the whole bit protecting the other sides of the box. But you look at this one, it's pretty unassuming, but it's got this like crazy like robot superhero as the main character. And fun fact, so my name that I go by online, Blinkoom, partially inspired by Out of Mana, OOM, but I was trying to think of a name. I wanted the name Blink because that's just the handle I've used forever. I was raised in an era of StarCraft 2 where everyone had cool one-word names. You know, everyone was Flash or Life or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted Blink. That was my cool StarCraft handle I wanted. But you can never get it, so I needed to tack something onto the end. And I didn't want to do, something really unoriginal and boring, like 1, 2, 3 or something like that. Got him. But I was playing Sonic Blast Man, and when the character does attacks, sometimes when he punches, it does like the Adam West Batman, like pow, wham, that type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And one of them that always stuck out to me is it says Bagoom, Bagoom. And so I combined Blink and Bagoom into Blinkoom. And
wow, we got an origin
this game
story.
Is to thank for it.
Very nice origin story. Wow, I didn't know that. Very nice. And that's your number 5?
That's my number 5.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't want you to judge me in any way whatsoever, but I had never really heard of that game.
Oh, it's good. The first one's good, too. The first one's much more affordable. But they're both fun. And the Bagoom may be from 1 or 2. I don't remember if it's exactly 2, but either way. Yeah, I'd recommend them. If you like beat-em-ups, give them a shot.
Will do, bud. All right, I'm going to pop over to me. My number 5 here is going to be Demon's Crest. You can see here I've got a mini box. I'll show you how this works here just shortly. You can see here on the back, it is actually miniboxgaming.com. Please check them out. Very good. The more you order, the cheaper you get these boxes. They come in these plastic protectors here. You can see nice form. And the game, obviously, you put in there. It doesn't require like any extra styrofoam or cardboard because it's the integrity of the cartridge that makes the box have its shape. And you got your game. Pull it right on out of there, bud. You got your game in there.
Very cool.
And it's kind of like having a bit of a cardboard addiction, but it's not the legitimate ones. But it's nice for space because, as you know, Steve, as a cardboard collector, they're not very forgiving with space. So these work out. They work out pretty good. So Demon's Crest, actually, my number 5. Sure. I'm one of the few people on Earth that like this game. I think a lot of people were disappointed by it. If you like Gargoyle's Quest 2 and Gargoyle's Quest, that's on the Game Boy, I mean, those are fantastic games. This is the 3rd. I would say this one's not as good as those other ones, but visually, this game is stunning. The opening bit of this is so awesome. The rest of the game, I mean...
Yes. I just played this one not long ago. It's really good.
You can end up getting the... I got the wrong ending twice because I forgot how I did it the first time and then did it the second time like an idiot. So I ended up playing this game like 4 times. But once you get the hang of where you should go and where you shouldn't go, I'm not saying it's the best made game, but it's better than a lot of people say it is. I like this game quite a bit.
Yeah. It's very fun. Good one. Dude, that's a good pull. I like that. I like the mini boxes too. It's also a good way to hide them jankers that you got in there, the nasty boys, those sun-faded dirty cards.
I got some now. Some of my higher echelon SNES games, I do. If I'm going to pay good money, I want a good cart. But I will accept for the rest of it. I'll accept junk. There's only like 20 SNES games I hold in pretty high regard. But the rest, I mean, as long as it plays, just give me a dirty girl. I want to just give me a nasty one. I don't care.
Oh, all right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, my number 4. Let's grab that. Nick in chat says I should have used a 182 at the end of my name. Believe it or not, Blink 182 already taken online. That's a rough SEO scrape. The number 4, this is one that I got much later in life. I think I got this one also at a Midwest Gaming Classic, probably 2017, 2018 or so. He got us a copy of the Twisted Tales of Spike McFang.
Ooh.
Which is a very cool, like, top-down kind of action RPG. Sort of like mixes action RPG with a little bit of, like, top-down, almost Pocky and Rocky type of combat. Very charming, very straightforward. Really cute. It's like a Spike McFain is of like a very cartoony vampire. So there's a bunch of like garlic that is sentient and things like that. Only takes 3-4 hours to get through, if even that. I think I beat it in one stream, even maybe.
Oh, jeez.
But fun game. Very very charming. This is the type of game that 10 years ago someone would recommend to you as like, hey, this is a hidden gem on the Super Nintendo library. But these days, you can say that, and then you're like, oh, but it's hundreds of dollars. So I don't know what you're going to do about that. Sorry. But very fun.
I just looked, and you're holding about $650. So set it down very gently. There you go. No, that's one that's always been on my want list, and just one that I've kind of been like, I'll never see that. I'll never own it. So I'm glad you do.
Yeah, it's a little hard to come by.
One day when we get married, we'll have them. We'll have it.
True. Yeah.
All right. My number 4, surprisingly already, Earthbound. Huh? And Earthbound coming in here at number 4. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I just realized, Steve? I didn't show your pictures.
That's good stuff. Oh.
I didn't show your pictures. Should I show?
Oh.
Should I show that?
Nah.
Or you want to?
We'll show a lot of that stuff in person anyway, so don't worry about it.
All right. I'll flip back over to me. So I got an Earthbound here, and again, we're talking mini boxes. I'm not going to do this for all of them, but just believe me, there isn't. You know what? I'm worried folks won't believe me. I'll yank it out. They'll be like, anybody could just get a Earthbound mini box, you dolt. What is this? There it is. Earthbound. Probably my favorite RPG. Just so charming, so colorful. Fond memories of this, and I didn't play it that long ago, but it made me feel like I played it as a child. I was nostalgic for the game that I hadn't played yet. It's that kind of game. So Earthbound, it is. And I want to say,
there's no other game that feels like Earthbound. It's a one of a kind.
It's true. I want to see the price for Earthbound. Oh no, it's still pricey. Oh wow, okay.
You say it came down.
I thought it had. So this is mine's out of order. Earthbound should have been later. So whatever. Hey.
It is what it is.
Read my
what is an Earthbound going for these days?
Well, for some reason, when I first glanced at my app earlier today, it said 181, but that's because that's the price I put in for what I paid for it. It actually goes for like 389. So, whatever. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, that's a spendy one. Earthbound, worth it though. Worth.
Yeah. I dig it quite a bit.
You looking for number 3?
Yeah, I'd love to see what you got over there for a number 3.
For a long time, this was my favorite game ever. It's certainly one of my all-time favorite games. You say that Earthbound's your favorite RPG. This is my favorite RPG. Got that Chrono Trigger.
Of course.
I think a timeless game. At this point, everyone out there knows how good this one is. I don't have to sell you on it, but I was very happy to finally get a complete copy of it as a representation of something that I hold so dear. And all in all, pretty good shape too. You know, it's got a little bit of wear on the edges, but that's good. That means that it was a well-loved copy. And there's so many ways to play this that honestly, a lot of times you don't need to whip out that Super Nintendo cart, but still, it's a beautiful thing to have. And man, this one really got expensive like a couple years ago. It shot way up.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Good choice there.
Yeah.
My number, technically 4, but 3 tonight. Final Fight 3. Just beat this for the last Polykill, believe it or not. This old guy. We got Jaguar out there. The mayor. Shirts off, knuckles out. The way it should be. If your mayor's not on the street fighting crime, you need to move. Frankly. You need to move.
Get out.
I feel like I got to take them all out because I feel judged. There's my Final Fight 3. Real crisp copy. I got this for a good deal not even that long ago, which is why I only played this game recently. But it is a great game.
What was the circumstances? How'd you pick it up?
I just have been looking for it for a long time and got a good deal on Mercari. Shouting out Mercari tonight. If you're not using Mercari, it's a great alternative to eBay if you're looking for some games. That's just a pro tip for all you out there tonight. Now, don't get on there and compete with me on the games that I want, but do try it if you're looking for some games.
Nice. Final Fight 3 was really close to being in my top 5. It was my number 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah.
So
it's a great beat 'em up series, yeah.
All right, this one may surprise some people or it may not, depending on how up to date you are with Super Nintendo stuff. But believe it or not, my second priciest game, Super Mario World.
Wait, what?
This is the non-player's choice, so I guess what you would call the black label, of the standalone box for Super Mario World. So, you know, everyone who owns this game, or most people that owned this game, got it with their Super Nintendo back in the day because it was a pack-in. So it wasn't until years later that they, it must have been once they started releasing other bundles, where they finally decided to pack up Super Mario World on its own and sell it as a retail game. And there wasn't that long of a stretch of time between when it hit the shelves like that and when it became a player's choice, because obviously it's an amazingly popular game. And so the, I guess you'd say, black label version of the box is pretty hard to come by. I remember I got this in a Midwest Gaming Classic. It's one of the few times where I'm glad that I ignored my baser instincts. I was leaving the event. I had about $120 in my pocket, and I was done shopping. And I walked by a table. They had this for $110, and I asked them, "Hey, can you do $100, not $110?" And they said, "No, we can't." And I believed them. This was true. They said, I guess someone had been a pretty big collector, and they were selling off his collection after he passed away. So they were selling off his collection on behalf of the collector's passed away wife, to help her recoup the money. And so they're like, "We're not really doing deals on it. We just kind of want to get her the value of stuff." And I was like, "All right, I'm not gonna squabble over $10, and that's a legitimate reason to pick something up." So I bought it for $110 right as I was leaving Midwest Gaming Classic, and then this in the last year or two became a very desirable game, and now this boxed version goes for, it goes for a lot.
It does, sir. Was it considered a deal for you at the time? What was it going for at the time? Did you say?
It was probably a bit of a deal, but it was probably right around the market value. And honestly, I bought it more for Leah, because this is one of her favorite games. This is the game that she grew up with. And, it's not in perfect shape. It's got a little crease on the front there, and it's got a crease on the side. But I got it to be like, "Hey, look, we finally have this cool, collectible version of a game you love." And then worked out in the end.
It sure did, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, my app here says that complete goes for, I don't know what the data's like, but $900?
Yeah, it's very pricey, specifically for the non-player's choice version of that box.
Jeez Louise, you lucky dog. Sometimes you get them that way. Sometimes you get lucky. Well, I want to show y'all something you've already seen. We'll be quick. We got Chrono Trigger over here.
Woo!
That's what I got. That's technically my number 3, but my number 2 tonight. Earthbound would eclipse this by a little bit. But yeah, this is one, everyone I know is really high on it. I'm more in the middle on this game, but I did enjoy it. And I'm thinking, like, maybe I need to replay it. I feel like I missed something. So I haven't written it off yet. Maybe I'll go back to it someday. But I liked it okay. I thought it was good. Maybe it was just I should have played it as a kid. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, it's better than you're giving it credit for. But you know what? We can agree on some other RPGs and things. So we don't always have to line up. But I think it's a very special game.
Cool. What's your number 1? Let's see it. Let's see it. What do you got?
Big boy, big box. Got that Earthbound.
Yeah, you got that big box.
That juicy big box. So this does have everything in it. I maybe try to pull it out here.
I just got the little box. It's so little. Look how little my box is compared to your big old box. Jeez,
sorry
Pete.
that I got the big box. And
you got the
little tiny.
Look at the little stupid box that I have.
We got our cart there, our Earthbound cart, and
your cartridge is bigger than my box.
We got the guide. Now the guide's a little rough. It's got this crease on the back, and it's kind of like warped. It's definitely, you can tell that whoever owned this read it a lot. But we've got most of the scratch and sniffs in there, not all of them. But funny story about this copy. This is a fully pieced together copy. I guess the one thing it's missing is the cardboard tray, which is unique to this game. So at some point I need to just get a repro cardboard tray to slide in there. But years and years ago, I always wanted this game. Never owned the cart as a kid. Never owned the cart as a young adult. And years and years and years ago, I was at a retail store and they had the guide only for $50. And that was a great deal even at the time. So I was like, I'm doing it for $50. We're popping on that guide. I had the guide just chilling in my collection for a while. And I always was like, all right, well, I've got the guide. I can always get a cart, but I just got to track down the box. And then eventually I got the box for, I want to say it was between like $150 and $200 for just the box. And this was back in maybe 2016 or something like that. I don't remember exactly when. And so then eventually I waited and waited because I was like, I'll find an Earthbound at a garage sale someday. It'll be my great find. I'll find a cart to slide in here. And eventually I just couldn't wait any longer and I caved and I ended up buying a cart for the retail of about $200 at the time. So for about $350 to $450 all in, depending on how the math checks out, we got the complete in-box Earthbound over the course of like a year.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you bought that from my local game store via the internet.
Oh yeah, I did. I popped on it. Now I'm remembering. It was probably $450 because I think the cart was, I think they had it for $250, but then you had like a discount code.
A little discount, yeah.
Yeah,
so you probably got it for like $225 or something.
$225 on the cart.
Yeah.
Which again, for prices now, great deal.
Heck of a deal.
And yeah, so I had the other pieces in my closet for years, and then finally I was like, forget it, I'm buying that cart.
Yeah, I hear you, bud. Now, before I get to what I'm about to show, I'm going to rewind all the way back to our Jaguar discussion, okay? Because there was a very important thing I left out of that makes this even more crazy, what I'm about to share. So the Jaguar, as we all know, a very pricey piece of equipment if you are to want one. They're not common. They were never common, and they've always fetched a bit of dough. Especially since like 2005 or so, they've always hit around at least $100, if not more. I picked that up at a yard sale for $3. It didn't come with, it came with a controller, but it didn't come with any hookups. I had to go piece that together with eBay. Thankfully, it's Atari, so it was easy to find like matchable Sega stuff that worked and fired it up. So $3 for that Atari Jaguar, and the lady that was at this yard sale, I didn't even really know what a Jaguar went for, and I also didn't know if it worked. So it wasn't like I ripped anyone off too hard. I ended up doing that, but I was on the way out of this yard sale where I had picked up like Sunset Riders, Super Mario RPG, and I picked those up because the guy said anything with Mario in it's $10. All these rest of these games are $1. So I got like Sunset Riders for $1. I had to hand him $10 for Super Mario RPG, whatever. And then on the way out, I walk by a cabinet and it has the Jaguar there, and I was like, oh, how much for this? And they're like, I don't know, that's Tiffany's, and Tiffany's like across the yard. And they're like, Tiffany, how much for that Jaguar? And she's like, I don't know, like $3. I was like, 300? I didn't say that. They were like, but in my head I was like, oh, well, we're out of here. And they're like, no, just $3. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. And I had to go ask my wife for more ones because I was completely out of cash. So I got the Atari Jaguar for $3, and it was a great deal. I go by that yard all the time as if they got more games. They're done.
Yep.
I got them all. They didn't get more, but I still go by that yard. So that was the craziest find. But here's the craziest thing that's happened to me as a collector, Steve. When I first started collecting for the Super Nintendo, like in 2010, seriously, 2009, 2010, I bought a lot off eBay. That's how you tend to start, especially back then. Lots were more affordable. It was kind of fun to get a lot. You never knew what you were going to get. I got a warning on this lot that I bid on eBay that was like, listen, a lot of sports dupes, a lot of junk in here, but it's like $1 a game for 100 games. So I got 100 games, $100. What's the worst that could happen? Well, it was a pretty bad lot. It came with a Mortal Kombat that had puke on it. I had to chisel it off. I eventually threw it away. And it also came with multiple copies of a lot of sports games. Like, I got all the NHLs, all the NBA Lives, all the Maddens, multiple times. You know how hard it is to get rid of multiple years of Madden 2000 or Madden 95? I only recently got rid of those. But you know what else? You know what else was in this shitty box? Final Fight Guy.
What's that?
Final Fight Guy, a game that has always been friggin' expensive. And at the time, I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was just Final Fight. I was like, oh, Final Fight, okay. That's cool. That's a good get. And I put it on the shelf. I didn't think about it for like a year until like apps and data got a little bit better. I was like, wait a minute. I have a different Final Fight than everyone else. What is this? I didn't know anything about it, but it's Final Fight Guy, and it was a rental exclusive, and it goes for a lot of money. It's not easy to get. I got it for basically what amounts to $1. So Final Fight Guy.
So lovely.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. That's a beautiful story right there. That's exactly the type of thing you want. Don't you love? That's happened to me a couple times. I know for a fact. I love that feeling when you learn later that something is pricey, and you're like, wait a minute, I already got that. All right. Yeah.
That happened to me for sure. I remember being excited enough to tell my wife about it, and she was like, so you're going to sell it? I was like, no, that's not what this is. We don't sell anything. No. We hoard it until we die.
If I get another one for $1, then we'll talk. But...
Yeah. If I get another one, I'll sell that one for sure. I won't even think about it, but no, this one lives here now. This one's a roommate.
Lovely.
So that's my priciest one.
Good stuff. That's a rare boy. I think that's easily the rarest of anything that we showed.
That was the priciest, most coveted, I guess, or whatever you would say. Just the gem of my entire collection for years until somewhat recently things have caught up to it. But yeah, that's a pretty special one right there. And just the way that I got it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's so cool. Good stuff. That game is another one where it's funny how the US version is $500 or something crazy, and you can go get the Japanese version for $40.
Yeah. Yes. Every time. Yeah. All right. Are you ready for some quick sentimentals and some show and tells?
Yeah, let's sentimental it up. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You go first, and we might need to speed the clip up a little bit here because we got a little bit more to show, and it's getting to be 11. So.
All right, we'll go quick. I only got a small handful of stuff. First off, the only boxed game, Super Nintendo game I have from my childhood, and one of my all-time favorites. Got that Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Love this game.
You beaten it?
I have beaten it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. When I was getting back into collecting, like, basically when my cardboard addiction started, I should say, which was around the early 2010s. I dug out a box to get all my old N64 boxes to see what I had and what I didn't. And this was the only Super Nintendo game. My sister, for some reason, kept this box out of all the Super Nintendo games we owned. And so I didn't even have the cart anymore at the time. And so I was able to track down a different cart and put it into this box, which was a good feeling.
Very cool.
We've got... I was late to the eBay train. I didn't start using eBay till probably 2014 or so. But I remember one of the first things, I think the first auction I ever won was for these two, Final Fantasy 2 and 3, both of them in one auction.
Wow.
And I won it for $150. And that was, at the time, I think some of the most I'd ever spent on like games at one time. But I had played these to death and I really loved them, so I was happy to get both of these. My first eBay memory.
Wow, that's special.
And then rapid fire style. Ugh. We'll just show you that whole import collection.
Oh,
quick.
yeah. You don't have to go too fast. I mean, we're not in a big hurry.
Got that poppin' Twinbee, little scroll and shoot 'em up.
Nice.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
We've got this one's okay. I bought this one because I heard good things. Super Wagyon Land, I believe is what it's called. Cute little platformer, but the problem with this game is that it's not super friendly to folks that can't read English. For some reason, right away, some of the first things that happen in this game is you enter a house and you have to like answer a trivia question where the answers randomize their location. So it's hard to get through, but it is like a fun little 2D platformer if you can get a little further than that. We got Magical Taruto-kun Adventure. I got this because I also got the Mega Drive version, and that one was really good. This one's slightly different, not quite as good, but a fun 2D action platformer.
Nice.
One of the better games, probably my best Super Famicom game and my favorite is Macross. It's Macross SD. Let me get you the exact name here.
Give me that. I mean, has it got the? It sounds like it's got D in it.
Oh no, not SD. Macross Scramble Valkyrie. That's the US name of this one. Really, really impressive side-scrolling shoot 'em up. I don't know anything about Macross. I've never seen Macross. I would like to watch it, but I never have. But this game is really good. Fun scrolling shooter.
Yeah, as Top Spot has said in the chat here, those look a little bit like just ever so slightly thinner VHS boxes.
They do, yeah. Yep. And then my last one, you called this one out earlier. This is Jackie Crush. So this is a pinball game in the same style in series as Alien Crush and Devil Crush on the TurboGrafx.
Yep.
This is like Demons kind of pinball. Very good pinball game. For some reason, I found this one in a half-price books for like $20 near me. I don't know how someone traded in a complete copy of Jackie Crush to a used bookstore near me, but they had it.
That's how it goes.
Top asked, do I have a Super Famicom adapter or did I mod my console? I played all my Super Famicom games on my Retron 5 before that broke. So I do not own an actual Super Famicom, and I did not mod my console or get an adapter.
Right on.
And that's it.
Okay.
I'm plumb out of memories.
Plumb out. I realized when I went to this screen, I never put you on here. There you are. Okay, now we can see us both together. All right. These aren't really so... A couple of these are sentimental. Some of them are just shout-outs, if I'm being honest with you. My wife gifted me this CIB version of Brain Lord, a little action RPG that is super fun.
Ooh.
I recommend this one. It's not as good as, something like Link to the Past, of course, but it is pretty fun. I would say try it out if you're into action RPGs. And speaking of those, of course, I can't not shout out my favorite game on the Super Nintendo, which is Soul Blazer. I know that's one that you enjoy too.
I was going to grab mine, but I knew you'd grab yours. That's a winner right there.
And that's how we do is tag team, Polykill tag team right here. Soul Blazer, great game. And honestly, I think it is almost like a 2D Dark Cloud. It is very similar in a lot of respects to Dark Cloud. and almost suspiciously connected. I'll be honest with you. Also, Biker Mice from Mars, really fun game. I like this one quite a bit. I never watched the cartoon as a kid. I guess I still could. I could dig it up. Maybe that'll be the next thing I do for goof's sake. But Biker Mice from Mars is super fun. Great sprite work. It's just a little isometric racing game. Super duper fun. And the best game, in my opinion, on the Super Nintendo is Family Dog. This is a great game right here. It's a 10 out of 10 game right here. Family Dog. Can't beat that.
My man loves Family Dog.
You can't beat it. But probably one of the best dogs on the whole system right there, the Family Dog. You can beat that in 12 minutes, but you will need a guide because it's a terrible game. It's maybe one of the worst games ever made. It's like the Alf, Sega Master System Alf of the Super Nintendo. I also wanted to quickly, I got a couple more things here. I wanted to show off some of my hot jankers. We got this, guess what it is? Home Alone. Home Alone with the label just flipped right up like a car hood after a bad accident. Just flipped right up right there. Maybe a little epoxy could fix that. You know what, though? It's doing a little bit better than this game right here, which has no label. That's Scooby-Doo. Hard to find this one in the old collection. I'm going to have to get a mini box for it so that I can find it. We got this one suffering a similar fate. What's going on with this? What's going on with this? Of course, we're looking at, what is it? Can't even read it. It's NBA All-Star Challenge. It's got $1 written on it, which is, I don't even know if I could sell this for that amount written on the cartridge.
You've overpaid somehow.
I know, but I love the back of this game. Looks like just a bunch of prison neck tattoos. It's just all kinds of scribble and scrabble and stickers. It is in rough shape on the back. Rough shape.
Lovely.
And then the last one here, this one's, I probably should have let off with this one because it's in the best shape of the rest of the ones that I've shown here, but my X-Men Mutant Apocalypse is worn down. It's been worn down. Poor fella. Poor fella.
Poor feller.
Now, the last thing I want to show for the Super Nintendo, Steve, I know you're not much of a, sports guy, but you should be swinging one of these batter-ups. This is This is a bat. You plug it right into your Super Nintendo, and for a set of, I think it's 9 different baseball games. I have tried this, and it works surprisingly really well. You get to frickin' swing at the ball with the bat, and it's frickin' awesome. The games that I think it works for King Griffey. It works for a handful of, and there's no shortage of Super Nintendo baseball games. I think every baseball player had their own. Mm-hmm. But it looks like this. I don't have any stuffing in the box. I think it came with some foam and some stuff. That's what we're looking at here. So, I guess the tricky thing about it, and this lets you, like, you know, depending on the game, there's some settings you have to choose to make sure that it's picking it up correctly. You can also pitch with the bat. Like, you're not swinging the bat, but you would use, like, the inputs on the controller. When it goes into pitching, you don't have to swap controllers. You can just continue playing with the bat. It's a little difficult to do it that way. But honestly, though, when you swing this bad boy, like almost like a Wiimote, like it's almost like 1-for-1. Like there's a little bit of lag, but I was impressed with this. I think that's
awesome, dude.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty impressive piece of technology that obviously no one really cares about. You really have to clean out your living room, though, because I was swinging this thing around and was scaring the cat and everything else. You really got to make sure you got some room. Make sure you're not under a light fixture. This is a list of games that work on it. You're probably not going to be able to read that. Well, maybe so, yeah. So we got King Griffey's Major League Baseball, Hardball 3, ESPN Baseball Tonight, MLBA Baseball, Super Baseball, Cal Ripken Jr. Baseball, Sports Illustrated Championship Football and Baseball, and Super Batter Up. So good number of games.
Good stuff.
Works well on all of them. So Super Batter Up. I almost talked Alex into getting one of these. Because when I told him it worked on King Griffey Jr., he was like, immediately opened up eBay and was like, well, that's a good one. It's a swing like Griffey. And accidentally hit Clyde with my bat. So I can get this thing back in the box.
Good stuff.
Yep. We'll deal with the box later. Now, I was showing off those mini boxes earlier, Steve. And I wanted to show off a couple more. When we get to our NES night, I'll show off what those look like. But I do enjoy these mini boxes. So for a lot of my loose carts, especially ones that games that don't have good in labels, the N64 would be a great candidate for mini boxes if I didn't already have a solution, right? Mm-hmm. Another good candidate, the Virtual Boy box. This is nice.
Ooh, true, yeah.
Makes your thick Virtual Boy or your very thin Virtual Boy games look good on a shelf. Similarly, who else is famous for having no in labels? What's that? The 32X just called? Yeah, these are nice. These are nice. Almost like cassette tape case style. They work really well. I got that one in Doom. Brought that. Both of these here. Really cool. Miniboxgaming.com. This is what it looks like for the Genesis. Look how just sleek that is. I mean, just nice. Ooh. Cartridge in there.
That is nice.
Those end labels. And, if you don't have some of the games didn't have the nice Genesis spine, you got, so what Hyperstone Heist looks like. Looks like a pack of smokes. Like I could just open this up and just go downtown on some menthol with those boxes. So I wanted to show that real quick as well. What are we at? Is there a wrist strap on the bat? I think there is, actually. Let me crack it back open here. No. You swing at your own risk. No wrist strap. So don't let go of your bat. You'll wipe out most of your collection, house, family, children, and pets. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to share, Steve, did you have anything else tonight? Did you bring anything?
Did I bring anything else? No, I think that's everything I got.
All right. Well, we're going out. We're going out on the TI-99/4A computer. Now, this is just what amounts to a giant calculator that your dad coded on back in the day. It's just it looks like that. This is what it looks like. It's got a keyboard. Keyboard's actually, I'm going to say, very nice. It's got a nice springy clickiness to it. I'm going to say they did a good job down in Texas with these keyboards. They're doing wonderful stuff down there. Where does the game go? The game goes right here. Now, what's weird about that is that, and I have a couple games here. I have Dig Dug, for example. Games slide in there. Now, I mean, that one's not so bad, but then I have this one game. I haven't quite figured this out yet, so if anybody in chat considers themselves a TI-99 guru, I haven't owned this for very long. I won an auction. Have you ever bid on an auction that you didn't expect to win? You're like, I don't know, I'll give $20 for that. And then you win, and you're like, oh shit, now I got to pay like $35 shipping on something I didn't want. Happened to me. It could happen to anybody. I have this version of the of Miner 2049, and you notice how I'm holding it by this extra lip. There must be some module that goes with this, because this game doth not fit in here correctly. There's like, I can't put it in upside down even, and it doesn't work this way because of that goddamn thing. So I don't know how to get this game inside the thing. So we're swinging and a miss on that. So that's the computer itself. It's pretty hefty. I'm going to say that weighs probably about 8-9 pounds. It's pretty hefty. And then,
it looks like you were stretching the muskies as you were doing that.
Yeah, bud. Well, I'll do that every day. And then I just got your regular stuff. We got a Donkey Kong on that bad boy. We got this is a game right here for you, Steve. This is Munch Man, bud. You ever played Munch Man?
I'm a Munch Man. You know that.
I know that. I know all about you. I've already shown off Dig Dug. I don't have many. I was just might as well show them off while I'm here. We got TI Invaders.
Nice.
We got Popeye the Sailor Man. You know him.
Hard to argue.
Yeah, it's a pretty good. I mean, I played this. I just recently did a NES friend on Popeye, and the TI-99 port, decent port, harder, but still, I mean, look good, played good. Centipede, it's busted in the corner. Somebody got mad at Centipede, threw down. I think that's all of them. Oh, I just broke 4 or 5 things off my desk, but I do have one more. I got Q*bert, which I could not get to work, unfortunately, but might just need a little bit more cleaning. That all came in one lot. but it's not bad. There is also it came with a book for like programming.
Oh.
And you can do some pretty sophisticated stuff with it. I've not taken the time to do it, nor will I. But it's pretty neat in that regard. So there we go. There we go, Steve.
I like it.
That's it. That's everything. We've done it. We did it.
Oh, we done it. We done showed the games, man.
We showed the games. We went through the N64. All right. We went through the friggin' what did we do? Jaguar, which is great. People should buy up Jaguars. Now that I have one, everyone go get one too.
Yep, that's fair. But don't get any of the games I don't have yet. But I'll let you know when you can.
Yeah, same. The Super Nintendo, I mean, I'm still surprised your collection is as concise as it is. I would have thought, you know, that being a console that dates from the way back, maybe you would have gotten a little bit more as the years have gone on. You'd soaked up a little bit more, but you surprised me with that tight little collection you got over there.
No, for some reason I've always put it off. I think it's just because it's always been spendy, and it's a little bit tricky because a lot of the games, when I first got into RPGs, I'll be honest with you all right, I discovered one SNES 9X. This is back in 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
I found out about these emulation programs on your computer, and I went crazy, man. When I first found out about JRPGs, I was like Kirby. I was just slurping them all down. I played most notable Super Nintendo RPGs within the span of a year and a half, probably. Earthbound, Lufia, all sorts of stuff. Breath of Fire. And so a lot of the games, not only are the games that I want, like those ones, expensive, but a lot of them I've also already played. So I don't even have that like justification in your head where like, well, it's spendy, but at least I'm going to play through it, and that'll be fun. I'll get, X amount of entertainment per hour per dollar. It's literally like I can spend, $350 to get Lufia 2, which I want, and then, well, then what?
Yeah.
So it's very much a system I'm still interested in collecting. It's just hard to collect for.
I hear you, bud. I hear you. It's not getting any easier, so catch the bus now or stay at the bus stop, as they say. They don't say that. I wanted to holler with the chat a little bit here because we still got some folks hanging out. Ryan H said this was amazing, and I'm sure he's talking about the TI-99. He thinks that's one of the best consoles he's ever seen.
Yep.
He's like,
Huge
man,
fan.
he's going to get a TI-99 and get one more so he could have a TI-100. And then there is Cool and Unusual Games, which that's what we're all here for, right, Steve?
Heck yeah.
He says the Jaguar's pretty rad, which I love to see. Someone else also said that Super Burnout is worth getting on the Jaguar. They say that that's an A+. And I'm thinking...
it's funny. I went and looked at my wish list as we were talking about Jaguar. That was already on my wish list, but I don't remember much about it. So good recommendation, good reminder. I've re-upped my wish list on that.
I just added it to mine as we were sitting here. I just realized I am just somebody that I don't know's recommendation away from adding $100 to my wish list. Somebody's just like, what's
it takes
good?
So little.
Honestly, like they could have said anything. They could have been like, man, Ultra Vortec on the Jaguar is good. Check it out. I'd be like, Ultra Vortec? All right, let me just go look that up real quick. Not even look anything up about the game. Look at the cover and be like, yeah, it looks dumb. And then just add it. And then I'll find out 10 years from now I paid $80 for it and never played it. That's just the kind of shit we do.
It's true. Now, we won't go through it all right now. This is always growing, always changing, always increasing. But my wish list of stuff that I want to pick up is 1,026 games. Now that's across all consoles and handhelds. Mm-hmm. But it's over 1,000 games. So it's definitely at the point where I can't remember the reason I put everything on my wish list. I just have to trust my past self. If I see a game, especially like an import that has like just a Japanese name, I'm like, I just trust old me that this looked fun and that I wanted it, because I can't keep up.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have, on my want list, I have 942 games, but that doesn't count any games that I have remaining in a collection where I'm trying to get them all. I only put games on my want list that like targeted want to play games.
Mm-hmm.
Even if some of that overlaps, I don't include like the N64 or even a good number of the NES in that. So I'm with you, is what I'm trying to say on that. We'll you know, it's a fun hobby. Will we get them all? You know, maybe when we start the next Amazon. You know,
the problem is that this is true for my wish list, and it's true for how many in the collection I've actually played through and beaten. The problem is that every year the numbers just get worse. You go back 5 years from now, or 5 years ago, my wish list was probably 600 games. You go back another 5 years, it was probably 200 games. I keep learning about cool games, and it's way cheaper to learn about them than it is to buy them. So the wish list just keeps growing.
It is fun, though. I mean, it is. That's why it's a hobby.
I
That's
love
why we're
it,
here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's more Stockholm Syndrome. I love it. It's my Trevor McFur. I do enjoy it. It's the best. All of my paychecks go away. Oh, man. Okay, anybody else, guys? Somebody says Hagane. You got to get Hagane, Steve. It's only going for, 4-car payments right now if you own a very expensive car.
It's... I build my wish list agnostic of the price. Not to say I would ever pay the price, but I don't consider price when I add something to my wish list. But Hagane's been on there forever. It'll sit there forever.
Yeah, I'm the same. I only put it on the wish list because the wish list doesn't always stay with me. Sometimes that gets shared about, and I'm like, maybe some rich benefactor that I've never met before will see it and be like, I'm going to get this guy Hagane because he's so special. And I'll be like, good thing I had that on my list, and you didn't get me Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction instead for the N64.
Or you get jerks like me that just send you. I noticed you didn't have any sentimentality about these Elmo Letters Adventure. What's going on there?
You know what? I thought about it when I was going through the N64 games. Like, damn, I should have brought that out tonight. I should have brought that out. But Steve did gift me an Elmo game that I'm proud of. Of course, I played it and beat it with my daughter. You had to go through the jungle and find all the letters. We went through and we found all the C's. We got the trophy. I didn't bring that one to the podcast. See, sometimes I beat games. Don't even tell you, Steve.
I bought that specifically so you'd always have a 2 beats backup. But okay, I respect that you played through it with the daughter. Someday, 20 years from now, she's gonna find herself nostalgic for Elmo's Letter Adventure on the N64. She's gonna go track down a copy. It'll be $300 at that point, and that'll be my fault. I'm the butterfly flapping its wings that caused that $300 hurricane later in her life.
Let me tell you a little secret about that Elmo Letter Adventure game. We started it together, but she didn't want to finish it. I had to sit there and finish. I had to finish it. So I did end up playing. I was like, gosh dang it. I find all these letters.
You don't know what you have till it's gone, right? So it's not too late for her to look back fondly.
That's right. Yeah, we've been playing Pets 2 on the Wii, though, and she digs that. It's got a bit of a story to it. It's not bad.
All right.
It's not bad.
Nice.
Okay. I think it's going to wrap us up. It's getting late over here. It's 11:30 Eastern. We all got to work tomorrow. I want to thank everyone for coming out and hanging out. This will go up as a VOD on the old YouTube channel, so you can always check it if you got here late, or for anybody who left early, you're not here to hear this, but thanks for being here at least a little bit. That was cool. What else, Steve? Anything else? We got podcasts. Check them all out. Check out Polykill. That's the one Steve and I are on. So good.
Dude, go to polymedianetwork.com. Listen to Polykill, and then you'll want to listen to the rest of the shows too. It's a good network.
Yeah.
Also, I stream a bunch of these on Twitch, so come hang out on Twitch. I also have a YouTube channel. If you want to see a very in-depth game room tour covering the games we talked about and more, you can find that on my YouTube channel, which is also Blinkum.
I saw the update to that today while I washed the dishes, and it was very good. I enjoy learning.
An enjoyable one to make.
I enjoy learning about your game room. Because you'll never invite me to see it. It's the next best thing. So.
Yeah, well, we're not there yet. You know what? We're not there yet.
All right. I'm being yelled at to play Elden Ring. People are yelling bust a nut. I say bust a nut as well. And with that, we will say good night. Good night.
Thanks, y'all.